probably can't hear it yet, but you get close and we'll give you a big cheer. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 9 News Reader, Peter Hitchener.
And just find out from Pete on a serious note that time of reporting on those tragic fires.
Yes, it was a shocking time. It was interesting coming here in the chopper. Our 9 News helicopter was used in fact in a rescue during the fires on that terrible Black Saturday, and it was a very hard thing to cover the fires for everybody involved. Much worse, of course, if you were involved in it. We were there after the event, but terrible thing. But it's great today that this match is taking place, and it's a real, boost, I'm sure, for the bushfire survivors. It's a terrific initiative.
Thank you, Peter Hitchener. Thank you.
And the chairman of the selectors, Vermont's coach, David Mansfield. Captained by Tim Fleming. The coach is Dean Anderson, so it's a very strong Hawthorn influence with Daniel Harper, Chris Barlow, and the coach Dean Anderson.
You get a chance.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let the game begin.
And the stage is set. We are just about ready to go. Players are taking to their positions now. Joining me in commentary today from the Victorian Amateur Football Association is Michael Crooks. Michael, quickly take us through your preview of this game. And of course, you're going to say the Ammos are going to win. I'm going to say the EFL is going to win. And I'll be the casting vote. Beautiful work. Just give us a little reason why you think the Ammos are going to get over the line today, mate.
Well, Sean, originally I didn't actually think I was going to pick the Amateurs because EFL, very, very, very strong. They're known across Melbourne as the league to beat. Although I have had a look at the teams, and obviously you guys know a lot more about the EFL players, but just on AFL experience, the Amateurs really have stacked the side here with Gardner, Voss, Robbins, Nick Rees, etc. So
the one thing that, interestingly, the EFL didn't do, they didn't bring Aaron Fiora into the side. They didn't bring Luke Cotchett or Daniel McConnell into the side. So it's and they've more kept faith with the blokes that have played in the EFL for a little bit now, and given those guys the chance to represent us on this big day.
They've backed themselves. I'm going to go the VAFA by 3 goals.
Yeah, I said 3 or 4 goals, I think, yesterday on the radio for the EFL, so I'm going to stick by that. EFL kicking to the left of your radio dial. The cricket pitch nets end here at Ringwood. The siren sounds. Umpire Warren Hillier throws the ball high into the air and we're away. He'd got the tap down, but only as far as Barden for the EFL, who got the little handball to O'Brien. Nick Smith takes it off the packet centre half forward, kicks inside forward 50, taken off the ball there. Could have been a free kick. It is. Free kick going the way of the Eastern Football League. Is it It is Ash Froud. There's a surprise. Froudy getting a free kick early on in the game. Gets the lead from Greg, but Froudy's going to line this one up. Ash Froud from about 45 out, and as anybody who heard our call of this qualifying final in Division 1 last year, Froud can kick this thing an absolute mile. So it is Ash Froud lining up now. Crosses forward 50, right foot kicks on its way, looks okay. Goal umpire hasn't had to do much moving at all. It's straight through the middle, and Ashley Froud puts the EFL on the board for the first time today. It is the EFL 1 goal straight 6. The amateurs yet to score. Anthony Stangerts.
Well, it was great movement of the football out of the middle by the EFL. Froud leaving, and it was Fragiacomo from Old Ivanhoe that's got the matchup on Froud. The other defensive matchup is Bowen taking on Matthew Gregg, which is definitely going to be a great clash.
Ball thrown up in the centre. Header tried to get the ball away now, tried to do his own roving, can't do so. Working through fairly hard, Bazaglo can't get the football. Ends up there with Mullet, and Mullet on the right foot. Goes out towards centre wing, outer side of Jubilee Park. Leading out in the race for the ball was Nick Smith, who set up the first goal. Beats him over the line and out of bounds in front of the Channel 9 sign.
Huge man, Nick Smith, centre half forward for the Baldwin Footy Club, the reigning Division 1 premiers. He is a lump of a lad at centre half forward. Ex-Melbourne
as well. Now in the ruck contest, Hayden Header up against Nick Smith. Header pushed him off the football, got it down to ground level. Amateurs have the football, looking for the boundary line. Nick Reese tried to take the ball, didn't like the attention he received, went over the line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in 80 metres around from the EFL goal.
A little bit of push and shove going on from both teams here. Dean Kelly was getting into it a little bit with Benny Dowd from St Kevin's there. The ball thrown back in. Good tap down that time. Heater for the amateurs, got the tap down. Ball at ground level, probably 18 or 20 surrounding it. Now Robinson almost got the ball, but there's a free kick plucked out of it. It's going the way of the amateurs, and it looks like it's going to be Tim Hazel that's going to take the freeze it. No, it was Heater. Got the handball. Now the amateurs go up towards half forward. Almost a nice mark taken there. I think that was Dowd. Gardner just spilled it at the crucial moment. Now the EFL come out. Bazaglo gets the handball through to Barden, running through the middle of the ground. Barden inside forward 50. Great mark taken by the amateurs.
Simpson.
And it was Tommy Simpson from St Kevin's. Thank you very much, Michael.
So Simpson got the handball away, and the amateurs try and clear dangerously up to the hot spot at centre half forward, doing his own roving, and a free kick, no, not paid. Ball comes to ground, spinning out of the pack there was Kelly. Dean Kelly got the handball across, not that far, and the amateurs will clear, only just. It went there to Carlson. Carlson got the kick away, and the amateurs now up towards half forward, and the mark's been taken there by number 25. Which was Sinclair. Haven't seen him. Brett Sinclair for Old Brighton goes up towards the half-forward line, and the good mark is taken by Brett Voss.
The good Voss.
So Brett Voss, 50 metres out from goal, kicking to the southern end of Jubilee Park. He has a lead on. He kicks it up towards the hot spot, 35 metres out.
Great hit.
Great pass, and the mark's been taken, I think, by Gardner.
It is indeed Charlie Gardner, Anthony Stangerts.
Yes, from St Kilda, and now with the Ammos, and looking forward to watching him go around this season.
So Charlie Gardner, who will represent Old Melburnians in B section, he's 35 metres out from goal to level the scores. Kicks to the right, and only one minor score. The Victorian Amateur Football Association on the board. They're one minor, trailing the EFL one straight, and we've gone 3.5 minutes.
It's going to be Joel Smith that's doing the kick-out duties for the Eastern Football League. Joel Smith, a great AFL career with the St Kilda and Hawthorn football clubs. Joel Smith playing some 279 AFL games.
Leading AFL games scorer on the park today.
And played in his first senior premiership last year with the Baldwin Football Club. EFL bring it in short. O'Brien got the kick off half back. Now there's a little bit of trouble as the amateurs have got it across half forward. They've done nicely. Kick goes in towards Rees at true centre half forward. Little handball inside forward 50, and another great mark on the lead. I'll tell you what, this amateurs team's quick and skillful, and it was Matty Robbins that's taken the mark on the lead, and he will line it up from about 30 metres out. A doddle for a man that I saw take the greatest mark ever at the Telstra Dome one night.
Matt Robbins just giving a bit of speed advantage over Joel Smith at the moment.
So Robbins puts the ball on the boot. It's gone straight over the goal umpire's hat, and the Ammos are on the board in the major way. It is the Victorian Amateur Football League, 1 goal, 1-7. The Eastern Football League, a 1 goal straight 6, courtesy of a goal from Matty Robbins of the Ormond Football Club. We have played, as I look at the time clock, about 4.5 minutes in this opening quarter.
Yeah, once again, good movement of the football by the VAFA into their forward line. And the forwards of the Amos at the moment just getting the speed advantage over the defenders of the Eastern Football League and getting the marking options out in front, which brought the last goal.
Big wide expanses here at Jubilee Park, Anthony, I think might suit the Amateurs, who are known for their run and carry. Hayden Hatter working hard in the ruck contest. Ball ends up there with Dowd. The little rover gets it over to Yetzi from Old Trinity, representing the Amateurs, goes up to the half-forward line. The numbers at the back are with the EFL and they charge through quickly. Quick handball into the centre of the ground. They drive it right up towards the half-forward line. Leading in the race for the ball, Christian Height. Doing with Fred Giacomo for the Amateurs. The free kick's going to have to be paid for in the back, and it'll go to Ben Phibbs, half-back flank.
Nick Smith just tried to pile drive him into the Ringwood turf there, the Jubilee Park turf, and Phibbs did very well to stand up and just get up and shrug it off. So it's Ben Phibbs across half-back for the Amateurs. Kicks ordinary though, cut off nicely by the EFL. Across centre wing, the Eastern Football League with the ball now, kicking towards half forward. Target is Chris Barton, the Chandler medalist. Just couldn't quite keep control of the ball. Handballed in front of himself to keep it in play though. Got support down there, although doesn't need it though because the ball's gone over the boundary line for a boundary throw and about 55 metres around from the EFL goal. They're trailing this one by a point. 1-1-7 the Amos, 1 straight 6 the EFL. 15.5 minutes opening quarter. Michael Crooks.
Thanks, Sean. Ruck takeaway, ended up there with Simpson. So for the Amateurs, kicks it up, big grab at the back, Ben Dowd. Takes the mark, gets the handball on the Amateurs quickly. Quick transition up to the half-forward line. Matty Robbins kicked the first goal on the left foot. Goes hard deep into the forward pocket. Doing well for the EFL. They're going to end up with the football and a great kick away there. Ended up with O'Brien, who kicked the ball up towards the outer wing position. Ball's been on that outer side all the time. It's ended up with Mullet, a quick handball over to Barton. Barton goes deep into the forward line. And the mark has been taken on that occasion by Dean Kelly, is it?
Yeah, downfield free kick.
And it's Matty Gregg that's taken.
Sorry, Matty Gregg.
You can tell him he looks like he's got a T-shirt on only one side of his body.
So Matthew Gregg's taken the mark. 35 metres out of side of Jubilee Park, kicking to the northern end. In this first time, no win to speak of.
4-time leading one division goal kicker, Greggy. This is one that he normally eats up, but it's March, and Greggy doesn't get fired up normally until about round 2 or 3.
So Matthew Gregg coming in, acute angle. Sean Kelly said leading goal kicker in the competition. He's pushed it right across the face, and only one minor score. So it's all tied up, 7 apiece. We've gone 7.5 minutes first term.
Nothing like putting a moz on the bloke as Matty Tuminello comes off for a rest. The big EFL ruckman replaced by Stephen Finlayson from the Scoresby Football Club. So it will be the Amateurs to bring the ball back in. Go, as always, towards the scoreboard side of the ground just to make life easy for us commentators. And the mark's taken across half-back. Yetzi it was. The mark, gave the little handball, but there was a bit of trouble. Has to go back in and butter up and get his own footy. Does that, but his handball was skew if. Smith's trying to run onto it. That's Nick Smith for the EFL. Just couldn't quite take clean possession, and the ball goes out of bounds about 45 metres around from the Eastern Football League goal. Pretty good start to this EFL versus VAFA bushfire appeal game. Skills have been fantastic and an absolute picture-perfect day here at Jubilee Park in Ringwood. Ruck tap was won by Heater for the Amateurs. Ball close to the boundary line again and again goes over for yet another boundary throw-in.
Free kick, I think he's paid to the Amateurs.
He has indeed. I saw the boundary umpire put one hand up, but he decided against it. So it's going to be Stone in the last line for the Amateurs. Nick Stone kicks up towards the broadcast side of the wing. Thank you very much. Finds Groves. So Paul Groves from the St Bede's Mentone Tigers, Ashex and Premiers last year. Finds Charlie Gardner right below our broadcast position.
Getting the better of Joel Smith early on in this game.
Charlie Gardner just surveying his options now. Hasn't got a lot of movement. Has to go short. Good kick though. Finds his man in the middle of the ground. Gets on with it straight away. Good smother though by Barden. Goes straight back down into the hands of Gardner. Gardner kicks up towards half forward, but peeling off and taking a nice mark was the Vermont captain Ryan Mullet.
And Mullet goes the ball into the centre of the ground. Quick kick away on that occasion by O'Brien. Ended up there with Anderson, and Anderson went over the top. Ball's been taken on that occasion and driven down for the EFL towards Nick Smith, who puts up the big mitts and takes the mark. 50 metres out once again on the outer side. Smith chips in, Stone, Gregg in front, gets the handball away very well. EFL pushing right up towards the goal square, but pushed off his kick. Was the little player,
I think it's
in
Christian
the forward
Height.
pocket, Christian Height, and the ball's gone over the line and out of bounds, and the Amateurs will clear.
That they will. Uncontested mark taken, about 35 out from the Amateurs goal. Just taking their time now, waiting for the movement. It is the captain, Timmy Fleming. So Fleming just being asked to hurry up now. Kicks the ball into the centre of Jubilee Park. One-on-one contest. Oh, good fly. Great mark by the Amos. They waste no time. Dowd gets the ball in the middle of the ground. Gives a little handball through Stone. Now gives back. Chance for the Amos once again. Rees inside forward 50. One-on-one contest. Ball falls into the hands of the Amos. Here's a little handball. Great tackle. Could have been a bit high though. It is indeed. There's a free kick going the way of the Victorian Amateur Football Association, about 35 metres out, directly in front of goal. And you, pretty well, if you're a betting man, you'd have a little bit on this thing going straight through the big two uprights.
I'll just update you on some of those defensive matchups. Mark Williams has got the job on Lowcock, Joel Smith on Charlie Gardner, Michael Witkowski on Matty Robbins, and Seamus Billings on McGettigan.
And it is Andrew Lowcock who's having the shot at goal now. He kicked from about 35 out, kicks through with the right foot. Goal umpire had to go a little bit to the left, but not enough because that is straight through the middle. First goal of the day for Andrew Lowcock, and it is the second for the VAFA. They have moved to 2 goals, 1-13. The Eastern Football League, 1 goal, 1-7. The Kinglake Football Club Bushfire Appeal scoreboard. Of course, all of the proceeds for today going to the VCFL Bushfire Fund Appeal. Anthony Stangetz.
That it is Sean Kelly, and then we'll just stick with the Bushfire Appeal scoreboard in this match. Tony Fu getting his own way in match number 1 earlier on today.
He's doing nicely.
He was, but it is currently 6 points the margin, and once again those forwards getting in front, and that's where you get the free kicks, Michael.
Kelly, you do, Anthony. Kelly won the takeaway, but only went as far as Dowd. Dowd got the handball away to Jared Carlson, ends up now with Hazel for the Amateurs, who kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line. EFL have the numbers, but the ball fortuitously comes to Matthew Robbins. He was dispossessed. Now the EFL clear, right out wide. Getting the ball was Chris Barden, half-forward flank in front of the scoreboard. Elects to do it himself, balks one. Looks up now for the leading Greg. Can't take possession, still keeps it in front of him. Amateurs have the numbers back, and it ends up with Simpson.
That it does as Simpson takes the time to release off half-back. The Amos can do this well. They've got runners everywhere. Little chip kick over the top goes to Carlson in front of our broadcast position, who's got a paddock to run into. Can just run, instead releases 3-on-3 down the forward line. A great mark taken for the Amateurs. That was Sinclair taking the mark. Brett Sinclair goes for the shorter option, leading into the pocket, and almost another good mark taken. Not quite paid though. The ball goes over the boundary line for a boundary throw, and about 35 metres around from the Amateurs' goal. Ringwood Swimming Centre end of Jubilee Park in Ringwood. It is the Amos 2-1-13, the EFL 1-1-7. Ball thrown in once again, man at the back, Finlayson got the tap down. EFL trying to release, but got taken in a tackle straight away, and there'll be a secondary ball up.
That Brett Sinclair who got the ball before Sean, returning to the Amateurs, Premiership player Southport Sharks last year.
Ah, very interesting. Went up that time in the ruck against Finlayson. Kick out of the pack. Good smothering job though, through 4-1 behind. Amateurs 2-2-14, EFL 1-1-7, 7-point difference. Bushfire Appeal scoreboard, crossing into the time-on period in this first quarter.
That was good work by Michael Witkowski. He's also had the haircut and got the locks chopped off in the off-season.
That makes it difficult to spot him too.
And as we mentioned, he's got the job on Matty Robbins from Ormond.
So the EFL about to bring the ball back in. Amateurs zoning. And they're still waiting. Now they'll elect to go very, very short, and the mark has been taken on that occasion by Mullet. And Mullet now kicks the ball in to the centre of the ground, to the centre half-back position. It ends up there with McCarthy. McCarthy got the handball away quickly to Harry. Harry into the centre of the ground. Nick Smith drops what he should have taken on the overlap. They've got the ball away right up towards the half-forward line. Leading out in the race with the ball was Froud. Couldn't take the ball. Ball came to ground. Will the boundary line see it over for the Amateurs? It won't at the moment. Froud does well. Gets the ball deep in the forward pocket, up there towards the full forward line. Greg came out, dropped the ball, coming through Andrew Bowen. He can't take the ball for the Amateurs, dispossessed. Ball comes to ground. Will the Amateurs clear? I think they will. It comes to Jared Carlson. Carlson gets the handball away quickly to Wintle. Wintle to Yetzi, and Yetzi drives it up to half forward.
That he does. Kick wasn't fantastic though to Yetzi. Key player falling over McGettigan right at the crucial moment. Little handball over the top, looking for Grant McCarthy for the EFL. The ball goes over the boundary line, right in front of Dean Anderson on the VAFA coach's bench, the coach of the Amateurs today, and of course Daniel Harford coaching the Eastern Football League side. 14.5 minutes gone, first quarter, 2-2-14. The VAFA plays 1-1-7. Biggest difference between the two teams at the moment, their run-off half-back. The Amos have got the better run. Quick kick around the corner by Phibbs from the throw-in. Now the tap over the top to Sinclair for the Ammos. He's about 45 out from goal. Gets on the bike. Kick one's in towards the vacant goal square. Running in the race for it that time. Hazel can't quite get it. He's got a man on his hammer. Good run that time by the EFL, just overrunning it though, Mullet. Now Hazel just escorts it over the boundary line and over for a boundary throw-in.
Showed a bit of dash there, Sean Ryan Mullet.
He did indeed, about 45 metres around. Of course, Ryan Mullet having a shoulder injury in the final series last year, got back for the grand final, but played in a lot of pain, the Vermont captain.
Takeaway, half-forward flank for the Amateurs. They've ended up with the ball, and that ball was Phibbs. Phibbs gets the handball away, but he's dispossessed, and it's gone over the line and out of bounds. As we said, the Bushfile Appeal scoreboard has the VAFA on 2-2-14, leading the Eastern Footy League 1-1-7, nearly 16 minutes gone in this first term. Happy with the crowd, Anthony?
At the moment, I would have thought a few more would have been through the gate by this stage, but we might have a few latecomers coming through.
Fantastic day for football here at Jubilee Park. Good standard. Ball taken away now by the Amateurs. They'll kick it back towards the centre and find Tim Hazel on the point of the square at half forward. Hazel transfers play right in towards the middle of the ground. Quick handball away has ended up on this occasion with Carlson. Carlson gets the handball to Robbins. Robbins from 40. Is he dragging it back enough? Just behind the stick, one minor. Victorian Amateur Football Association on the 2-3-15. Leading the EFL 1-1-7. 17 minutes gone first term.
One of the big matchups today that I'm looking forward to, Nick Stone and Nick Smith going head-to-head. But as I say that, Nick Smith has just headed to the boundary and his spot on the ground has been taken by Lucas Davies, one of the only two representatives from Division 2 in this EFL team today, Sean.
It is indeed, Anthony. EFL brought the ball back in well to half ball, but it was cut off by Brett Voss. Now Blumfield for the VAFA. Little chip kick in towards forward, and a nice mark taken by Sinclair. He's going to kick this one from about 40 metres out from goal. A chance for the Ammos to put their third on the board for the day.
Well, they keep on changing some of the defensive moves, the Eastern Football League, and I think it's more the fact that the quick transition play from the amateurs are leaving a few of the defenders without their opponent, and they're actually having to go to someone else's opponent to man them up, which has happened on a few occasions.
So Sinclair's right foot kicks on its way. It looks very, very good. And that is Brett Sinclair's first goal of the day. The third for the amateurs. They are 3 goals, 3-21. The Eastern Football League 1-1-7. Bushfire Appeal scoreboard. Time on period in this first quarter.
Well, it's been one of the major differences, as we said, the quick transition play from the amateurs, getting the ball quickly into their forward line, keeping the defenders of the Eastern Football League unawares, and getting out now to just over a 2-goal lead. The EFL would want another goal before quarter time.
Kelly got it down to Barden, who went to Bazaglo and kicked the ball up to the half-forward line for the EFL. They trail by 14 points at the moment. Ended up with Bain. He had his kick smothered. Amateurs working well. Yetzi been very prominent in the first term. Takes a bounce. And the Trinity midfielder kicks the ball right up out, looking for Charlie Gardner. Outer side of the ground. Gardner gets the handball away. EFL have the numbers back. One of them's Mullet. Been very good first quarter. Mullet gets the handball away to Davies, who kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line. Leading out in the race was Christian Height. Couldn't take the ball, and it went over the line and out of bounds. 50 metres around from the EFL goal. Joe Wooten, boundary.
Yeah, guys, it's a hot day, obviously, and they're really bringing changes to here on the boundary, particularly the amateur squad.
Thank you very much. Joe Watton down on the boundary line. Of course, Nat Edwards down there with her, doing a fantastic job on the boundary today, and they've done well because that's come through the caravan as well, their little boundary report. So extra exposure for our boundary riders today as the ball goes over the boundary line, and we're awaiting a throw in around about 50 metres around from the Eastern Football League goal. Ball thrown in again, second man up with Wintle that time for the Ammos. Kick goes forward now in the Greg direction. Greg just pushes off nicely. He's going to get paid against him as well.
Giving away the free kick.
As the free kick goes against Matthew Gregg, and it's going the way of the Ammos, who can release, and the mark taken by Nick Stone, about 35 out from goal. So it's Nick Stone representing the Collegians Football Club. Goes back from whence it came. Good coverage by the Eastern Football League, so the amateurs decide to switch and find that man Yetzi, who's been in absolutely everything today, who takes the mark. Just releases himself away from Rock Harry, but no, he's going to get called back. I thought that was good play then. Good transition play by the amateurs to release Phibbs on the run, but instead the ball's going to come back and Yetzi's going to be made to kick over his mark.
I think Yetzi's on his third opponent for the day already, but a poor kick.
Kick like that, he's going to need more. It's gone straight to Kristen Hyde. You don't give Kristen Hyde a chance like that because he will make you pay, and he's done exactly that as the EFL put through their second for the day. They go to 2-1-13. 3-3-21, the VAFA, I think that's the case. Anthony Stan gets to give a man a rap and he lets you down.
Exactly.
Well, it is, and that's what you've got to do when the turnovers provide an opportunity. You've got to make the opposition pay, and on that occasion, Kristen Height, he was headed for the bench. The runner had come out to him, so he was actually headed to the bench. And what a way to head to the bench by kicking a goal and then just put your feet back.
He's a bit stiff, Yetzi, that he actually, as you called, Sean, he'd actually got the ball away to Phibbs and the umpire called him back, but his disposal the second time was absolutely terrible. Ruck contest. Dean Kelly will go up for the EFL. Tries to grab the ball out. Hard turf in the centre of the ground. Ball comes down. Calling it for it was Phibbs. Now the EFL working very hard. Bottom of the pack. Anderson now getting a quick handball away. There was Rock Harry. Ball and premiership player last year. Bottom of the pack, and I think he'll get the ball. So Harry, right in the centre of Jubilee Park, elects to kick up towards the half-forward line. In front, not being able to take the mark was Froud. Ball came to ground. Now getting it quickly was Hughes. Hughes got the handball away. Went to Moyle. Moyle on the left foot. Kicks the ball up and the mark's been taken back there by, not Nick Stone on this occasion, but it's Butler, the big man from Old Ivanhoe. Butler switches play towards Chris Blumfield. Blumfield handball to Andrew Bowen. He elects to get rid of the football. He ends up with Yetzi, who went back to Bowen. Bowen got a handball away and it ended up in the centre where Stone drove the ball right up towards half forward, and a very strong mark taken there on that occasion by Matthew Robbins again, Sean Kelly's man.
Great movement of the ball, Anthony Stan gets by the amateurs, and they use the corridor beautifully, and it's just gone bang, 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 bang.
They have, straight through the middle, and not much more that the EFL defence could do because it just moves so quickly.
So Matthew Robbins has 1 goal, 1 this afternoon. 40 metres out, directly in front, kicks through the ball. Don't think it's made it though, it's only 1 minor score, and the Victorian Amateur Football Association going to 3-4-22, 9 points in advance of the EFL, 2-1-13, 22 minutes gone, first term.
I think just some of the matchups the EFL coaching staff need to look at in defence, with Robbins obviously getting the speed advantage over Wachowski, and before it was Gardner on Smith, so something they might have to look at in future quarters.
The EFL bring the ball back in. They've got it across half-back now. Ball goes in towards centre half forward where Dean Kelly's waiting. Dean Kelly kicks in towards the forward line in the Greg direction. Has to get on a half volley. Just bounces over the top of him and hits him in the back of the head. They call that the Falcon. Amos go off the ground, kicking the ball towards centre wing, right in front of our broadcast position, where the ball goes over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Thank you very much to the amateurs defenders for actually kicking it to our side of the ground. Haven't seen much of that during this game so far today. Ball thrown back in at the back. Good tap down by Butler, just getting the better of Tuminello. McCarthy for the EFL leads in the race for the ball. Got claimed in the tackle. Ball came out. Now there's a few. Craig Anderson does well to pick it up. Gives a handball to Harry. Now Harry on the link with O'Brien. Goes back into the centre of the ground towards Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson for the EFL. Handball into the middle of the ground. Tuminello. Now Harry. He launches inside forward 50 in the direction of Froud. Couldn't quite take the mark. Now umpire said play on because Froud had first hands on the ball. Baines came down with the mark. Umpire quite rightly has called ball has gone over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, correct call. EFL just wasting too much time with the ball out here on the broadcast side wing, and then Harry didn't actually get a clear kick going into the forward line. It was more rush, but great defence and midfield pressure by the amateurs at the moment.
Yetzi went to Stone, but now they turned it over badly because the EFL have got all the numbers back, and they'll kick the ball high right up towards the half-forward line. Doing the roving and doing a good job was Hughes. He got the handball away. On this occasion, he went to Davies, high up and under kick. It'll go to the top of the goal square. 2-on-1. Greg at the back, trying to take the right on Bowen. The ball came to ground. It went there towards Mullet. Mullet kicked the ball high, right up towards the full forward line. Big pack of players, bottom of the pack, taking the football, doing a good job. Ben Dowd, right around the boundary, and that man Yetzi takes the mark. Gets the handball to Dowd, and he'll clear from half back.
Paddy Wheeler's Dowd goes into the centre of the ground. Kick wasn't fantastic though because there was no one home for the amateurs. The only man there was Peter O'Brien for the EFL who took the mark. Moved it quickly. Now they're inside 450 forward line. Pass Froud. Takes the slips catch low down. And it is Ashley Froud who will line this one up from about 40 metres out. A chance for his second for the day and a chance to bring the Eastern Footy League Anthony Stan gets back to within 3 points.
Oh, it was a beautiful kick out of the middle by the Eastern Football League, and Ash Froud didn't go around in the cricket this year, but he would have had a few reminders about what the cricket season's like, taking a beautiful slips catch on that occasion.
He would have done indeed, as Froud, 45 metres out, right foot kicks on his way. He's just pushed it to the right though, Froudy. It's gone through 4-1 behind. EFL 2-2-14. Amos 3-4-22. It is an 8-point lead to the VAFA. We've played 25 minutes in this first quarter. Bushfire appeal match, VAFA versus the Amos. Michael Crooks.
Bowen kicks the ball to Stone. Half-back flank. Stone elects to chip the ball back. And the mark's been taken there for the Amateurs. And they'll now drive the ball right up towards the centre wing position. Leading Hazel, bottom of the pack. Sinclair went up. Ball came to ground. Ended up quickly there with Carroll. On the left foot, he kicks the ball backwards, but Stone is there. It's Butler. Butler got the handball away to Yetzi. Statistician's nightmare, Yetzi today. He's got a keep of the football, but he has turned over a bit, but he's got it backwards. And Yetzi's got the ball on half-back flank.
Yetzi and Witowski playing kick-to-kick there. So Yetzi switches play to the scoreboard side of the ground. Good one-on-one contest. Great tackling that time by the EFL, but the Amos have got the numbers and they'll bring the ball away. Kick was looking for Fleming. Just overshot a little bit. Running onto it was Sinclair, though. He's got support. Uses Rees. Breeze inside forward 50. Finds the man on the lead. Great kick by Nick Rees. And it will be the Amos having another shot at goal through the agency of Matthew Robbins, who will line up for his second goal of the afternoon.
Once again, just the VAFA forwards getting the advantage on the defence. And as Michael mentioned earlier, finding that space and making the most of it here at Jubilee Park.
Matty Robbins, right foot kick on its way. We're right behind the kick and it looks sensational. Just wheeled around after he kicked at Robbins' head straight to the bench, but he's got 2 on the board in this first quarter. And the Amateurs move their way to 4 goals, 4-28. The Eastern Footy League 2-2-14. 14-point advantage to the VAFA on the Bushfire Appeal scoreboard. 26.5 minutes gone. First quarter, Anthony Stangitz.
Well, it's Robbins finding plenty of space, not leading up the ground, but leading into the pockets. And I think he's marked on the lead 3 occasions and got 2 goals. A fantastic performance so far.
Chamanello went up against Butler in the ruck takeaway, came down to Dowd, and on the right foot he kicks the ball high, right up to the half-forward line. Now the EFL, they have the numbers back on this occasion. Looks like Carroll, left foot. Carroll, wobbly kick, right round centre wing, back of the pack, not being able to take the mark. There's the siren, a quarter that went about 27.5 minutes. On the Bushfire Appeal scoreboard, it's the EFL 2-2-14, the VAFA 4-4-28 for the EFL. The goal kickers are Height and Froud. For the Amateurs, Matthew Robbins has 2. Andrew Ace Lowcock and Brett Sinclair have the singles.
Thank you very much to Joe Watton and Nat Edwards down on the boundary line. Very concise comments down there, and both coaches sound like they've got the game plans worked out pretty well, Michael.
Certainly have, Sean. Start of the second quarter, getting the clock right. Header got the ball down. Ended up there with Barton. He had his kick smothered. Header tried to do his own roving. Came down at Dowd. Got a quick handball away. Up to half forward in front, Sinclair. Knocked away very well on that occasion. Ended up with the Amateurs. They go forward, deep into the forward pocket. Ball will beat them over the line and out of bounds. It's just joined us. It's the VAFA 4-4-28. They'll lead by 14 points to the Eastern Footy League 2-2-14 in our big Bushfire Appeal match here this afternoon at Jubilee Park.
The ball deep in the Amateurs forward line, thrown in once again. Good tap down that time. Tumanello just couldn't quite get his hands on it. Sinclair for the Amos gets the handball out. Now they handball back outside forward 50. Sinclair just goes without it, allows Craig Anderson to come in and pick up the handball. His handball was sloppy though. Dowd for the Amateurs picked up. Now they give a little around the corner. Sinclair got taken high by Anderson. He'll get a free kick about 60 out from goal.
Bit of height difference between the two of them.
I was going to say, Endo looks like he was on the pole vault there. A bit of Steve Hooker work as Sinclair kicks straight into the man on the mark. Good work that time by Stewie Kemperman. Just uses the boundary line for a bit of safety and finds touch. The umpire, Warren Hillier, calls for the throw in, Michael.
With 8 on the bench, Sean, I noticed that Matt Ball, I don't think played in that first quarter. Really excellent performance in Kilda player. Now on the ground.
Be able to use a lot of rotation today. Both coaches loving to do that so far. That time Heater tapped down to Dowd. Goes inside forward 50. Just overrunning the ball that time was Charlie Gardner. Handball was a little too hot. Gives the EFL a chance. Good defensive play. Now McGettigan goes down. Finds his man. Looks like it's going straight through. It has indeed through for a goal. It was Andy Coltrera, that's kicked the goal as we look at the number changes. Coltrera is first for the day, the Ammos the first for the quarter, and at the 2-minute mark of this second quarter, it is the Ammos 5 goals, 4-34, leading the Eastern Football League, 2 goals, 2-14, Anthony Stangerts.
Oh, they just continued to push the ball forward at every opportunity then, and that's how the goal came about. They pushed the ball forward, they ended up getting it into the hands of Coltrera, and Coltrera picks up his first goal of the afternoon.
Going to wear number 14, he's listed as 14. The long sleeve jumper was too hot. Wore number 9, now bent out. Been fantastic for the amateurs today. He's opposing number 3 in Bazaglo. Gets the ball away for the EFL, into the centre to Anderson. Takes a bounce, goes through the centre of Jubilee Park. Kicks it right up towards the half-forward line. Greg in front. Ball comes to ground at the bottom of the pack. First there at this stage there would have been Lowcock. He gets the handball away to Yetzi. Yetzi wrapped up in a tackle. The EFL have numbers. Great tackle, Tim Hazel for the amateurs. And the umpire says he'll take the football 60 metres out for the from the EFL goal. There's 20 points the difference. 2 minutes gone in this second term. Ruck takeaway. Anderson gets the handball away, looking for Kemperman for the EFL. Ball near the boundary line, goes over the line and out of bounds in front of Yetzi. And we'll have a resultant ball in.
Well, indeed. 3 minutes gone in this second quarter. Amateurs striking first blood. Matthew Smith comes onto the ground for his first run for today. There's going to be a free kick out of the throw-in. And it is going to be, it's Dickerson, that came onto the ground, and the EFL have got the free kick through Barden. Pretty familiar sight, that one. Barden to Greg, as Greg takes an acrobatic mark 50 metres out from goal. This is where Greggy likes him from, although I said that in the first quarter and he made a meal of it.
He's well within striking distance where he is at the moment. He'll kick from 55 metres out and 45-degree angle. But he'll want to get his second on the board, first on the board of the day.
So Matthew Gregg, leading goal kicker each of the last 4 seasons for the Eastern Football League. Kick centuries in the last 3. Left foot kicks on its way just outside 50, swings back, it's got too much swing on it, falls short. Ball in the goal square, good work by the amateurs. Don't want to concede, but they end up doing that as the ball goes through 4-1 behind. It is the EFL 2-3-15, the VAFA 5-4-34.
Anthony, have the EFL instigated the rush behind rule?
No, we haven't.
No, well, the amateurs have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what that story might have, that one was on that occasion. Ball comes back in for the amateurs from that rush behind. A long way away, deep in the back pocket. And it might be Hazel, there it is. Kicks the ball out very, very wide to the outer side of the ground. Barden for the EFL does very well, but we hear the boundary line umpire say that he's stepped over the line. Margin 19 points, the VAFA have it 5-4 to the EFL 2-3 in this second term. We've gone 4 minutes.
It's the ball just awaiting to be thrown back into play now. Umpire's got it in front of the Channel 9 sign. About 55 out from the EFL goal. Ball thrown in once again. Amateurs take it out. Look to clear it off half-back. Ball just wrong foots for Zaglo. Good work in the centre of the ground. Dickerson to get the little handball through. Now the amateurs go inside forward 50. Could have been a little bit of a push out that time. Umpire says no. EFL can launch off half-back. Just trying to find it. That was Witowski, got caught holding the ball that time. Not a great decision by Mickey Witowski. And there'll be a free kick going the way of the Ammos. As usual, they waste no time. Play on straight away. McGettigan goes about 65 out. Kicks a low bullet in towards the forward line that beats everybody and goes out of bounds and into the cricket practice nets. About 35 metres around from the VAFA goal. Chance to cross down to our boundary riders. Sorry, Anthony. Nat and Joe down at ground level. What have you got for us, ladies?
Thanks, Shorty. Well, Gutsy, you were right. The crowd is slowly trickling through.
Thank you very much, Nat Edwards down at ground level.
Zaglo takes the ball away for the EFL, but he's going to turn it over, you'd think, to header. Anderson, always too small in that contest, came to Dowd. Dowd looked up for ball, couldn't do so. Big man at the back there was Tamanello for the EFL, and he tunnel-balled the handball. Sitting on top of the football there, Christian Hyde, I think it was, at the bottom of the pack.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
And he's got a resultant throw up. 50 metres out from the Victorian Amateur Football Association goal. They have it by 19 points in the second quarter. Anderson gets the ball away now. On this occasion, it went to Bazaglo, went to centre wing. Wrapped up in a tackle, no clear possession. Amateurs have the ball. But the umpire will pull it up again, right in front of the scoreboard. As we said, the EFL lead by 19 points at the 6-minute mark of the second quarter.
Ball thrown up once again. Centre wing, no ruckman really got a hold of that, so the Ammos can run it out as they've done so well so far in this game.
Ball.
Go up towards half forward. Just couldn't quite take advantage. Now Pizzaglo, the skipper of the EFL, runs onto it. Gives a little handball back, gets the 1-2. Here's a chance, handball over top. Oh, a little bit fortuitous that time by the EFL. They're going to lose control of this if they're not careful. In fact, the ball trickles over the boundary line, or is the umpire going to call a free kick? I think he has. No, I think there's a free kick going away of the Eastern Footy League. And it'll be the skipper, Marcus Pizzaglo, to take the kick. So Pizzaglo across half back. Finds a little chip kick. Harry takes the mark, goes inside to the centre square. Oh, almost a good mark taken that time by Nick Smith for the EFL. Forgetting which league's which at the moment as the umpire calls for the ball in the centre of Jubilee Park. It is the Amateurs leading at 5-4-34. EFL are 2-3-15. We've gone 7.5 minutes in this second quarter.
Nick Smith gets the takeaway to his namesaking Joel Smith. Anderson tackles his opponent high. On that occasion, Ben Dowd, who's been very good. No, that's Groves. Groves goes out very, very wide. Mark's been taken out there. Might be Matthew Ball. Outer side of the ground, chips the ball in. Looking up there for Robbins, who kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. He can't take the football. The EFL try and clear. They're looking for the sanctuary of the boundary line. Haven't found it at the moment, and now Groves has got the ball again. Takes a bounce, takes a second bounce and kicks the ball long, right up towards the half-forward line. Andy Coltrera, the only goal kicker for the quarter. He can't clear the ball, the EFL can, and they're going to run wide. Now out to centre wing position where the ball's been taken by Bain. Bain goes up towards the half-forward line. Good mark on this occasion now, Nick Smith. Nick Smith right up towards Matthew Gregg in front. Strong hands needed, can't do so. Good roving, bottom of the pack on that occasion, Rock Harry. Ball still in the danger zone. Froud off the ground. Pushes it right, 1- score. 3 goals the margin. The EFL 2-4-16. The VAFA 5-4-34.
Yeah, still trying to get their defensive matchups right, the Eastern Football League. Grant McCarthy's now gone to Charlie Gardner, and Mark Williams has made the change onto Andy Coltrera.
Amateurs work the ball beautifully up to underneath our broadcast position, where Dickerson takes the mark. Goes back inboard, finds his man in the middle of the ground, Timmy Hazel, representing the Old Camberwell Footy Club. Still give me nightmares about a lost grand final, Old Camberwell. Kicks the ball up towards centre half forward. Just peeling off the back there that time, Seamus Billings. Good work by the EFL. Now McCarthy has the ball. Gives a little handball out to Joel Smith. Smith from a standing start's got a man all alone on the wing. Pizzaglo kicks in towards the forward line. Smith's on his own as well. That's Nick Smith, and he takes an uncontested mark 45 metres out from goal. This is a golden chance for the EFL. Anthony Stangett's to put their 3rd goal on the board.
Yeah, it was a great pass by Marcus Pizzaglo's new teammate this year at East Ringwood in Jamie Bain.
Oh, got the team right.
He won the best and fairest last year at the Donvale Football Club, and been courted by East Ringwood, and played some great football in a team that was at the bottom of the ladder last year, and I think he'll fit right into East Ringwood's midfield this year.
So Nick Smith, right foot kick on his way. The pack forms in the goal square, but they just can't get a hold of that one, and Nick Smith puts through his first for the day and puts the EFL's first goal of the second quarter on the board. Moves them to 3 goals for, which is 22. The VAFA are 5 goals for 34. It's a 12-point advantage to the Amateurs. We have played 10.5 minutes in this second quarter.
Well, better play by the Eastern Football League, just getting the ball to the leading forward, which they weren't really able to do in the early stages of the first quarter.
I think they're just starting to look a little bit better the last 5 minutes or so, the EFL working into the game. Now, Joe Watton said that Hayden Hedder will be off soon after the 10-minute mark. He's still in the centre at the moment. He won the tap out from Tominello. Ball came down to bottom of the pack. Amateurs, he'll have the leading in the race for the ball. They're not going to pick it up at the moment. Coming through Simpson. Simpson gets a handball back, looking for Matthew Ball. He falls over. Simpson butters up very well. Gets a quick handball across to Bowen. He went to Dowd. Quick handball from Dowd has ended up there with Dickerson, who fell over. Working hard there was Robinson for the EFL, and he'll get the free kick, and advantage is paid. Robinson went across there to Marcus Carroll. Carroll went into the centre of the ground. The mark's been taken by Peter O'Brien. The Noble Park midfielder O'Brien goes up towards Froud. Takes the mark 55 metres out. He's got Gregg on the lead. One hanging back in the square. Froud slows up play.
Taking too
Still
long.
not much on. Now he's got the leading player, but he doesn't find him in Greg, so Greg has to butter it back to Ashley Froud. From 55 metres, he's now trying to do it himself. Froud goes towards goal. Has it got the carry? It has. But it hits the post in what would have been the goal of the day. The EFL under 3-5-23, the VAFA of 5-4-34.
Well, he had no options in the forward line. Once Greg had actually done the first lead, he didn't have anyone to go to. No one actually led back towards goal for him. So he decided that he'd go in short, try and get the ball back himself and go all the way, which he just missed by the hitting the post.
Yetzi brought the ball in short from the kick in to Dowd, who found Fred Giacomo, who's gone back to Dowd. Kicks up towards the broadcast position now. Dickerson did well. Good tackling, though, that time for the Eagles. It was Matty Gregg up on the wing. He's helped out as well, and the free kick as well. Marcus Carroll from East Burwood will take the free kick. Chip kick over the top, finds Robinson about 60 out from goal. Matt Robinson centres the ball. Now little handball, on his bike goes Williams. Kick in towards forward 50, looks like it's okay. No, it's just off to the right, through 4-1 behind. EFL of 3-6-24, the VAFA of 5-4-34. It's a 10-point lead to the amateurs. Almost 13 minutes gone in this second quarter. Bushfire appeal scoreboard. All-Star Challenge match. What a day this is.
Mark Williams just catching his breath because he's actually in defence, catching Ben Phibbs in the forward line for the VAFA. But one of the main points then, pressure put on Mark Williams by the VAFA when he was going for goal and made sure that he wasn't going to get an easy kick.
Transfer of play was Bowen to Stone to Fleming for the amateurs. EFL this quarter, 1 goal, 4 kicking in accurately to the amateurs, only 1 goal straight. So they've got plenty of the football in this second term, the EFL, and Fleming's gone back to Andrew Bowen. Xavier teammates going out wide on this occasion, and ending up is the racehorse Fred Giacomo from Old Ivanhoe. Kicks the ball long, right up towards centre wing. Ducking back and taking the big mark on that occasion was Dickerson. Tries to bust a tackle. He's got Locott in support.
Great tackle.
Good tackle, and the free kick will go for the EFL.
Well, indeed. Ball goes in the centre again. Finds Brett Moyle, Premiership captain from last year with ball, and Moyle heads out, finds a teammate about 50 metres out from goal. This is Joel Smith, teammate in more ways than one. Handballs in towards Height. Height can run towards goal, has a stab. Greg got high, but the mark was taken at the front of the pack.
Plays the free kick.
Pushing the back against Greg.
Against Greg, it was always going to come. Greggy just tried to launch himself for one of his specials. Nick Smith took the mark, but the free kick has been paid.
He was only 6th in line.
In the very last line to the amateurs, and it's going to Old Zavarian's Andrew Bowen. So Bowen launches the kick. Moyle was camped underneath it. He's going to get the free kick for some interference. Harry tried to escape with it, but the ball's coming back to Brett Moyle. So, as he does, he just pops over the top to Rock Harry, 50 metres out from goal, kicks, finds a man on the lead. That's more like an EFL. That's exactly what the Amos are doing in the first quarter. And it will be Ash Froud to have the shot on a pretty acute angle, but he's only about 35 metres around from goal. So it's Ash Froud, EFL Team of the Year forward in the last couple of years. Been a very efficient foil to Matty Gregg in the Vermont forward line. As Froud goes on the right foot, tried the little check side. Never going to happen. It's gone out of bounds on the full to the near side. A little bit of ambition overriding ability that time for Froudy. So scores remain the same. VAFA 10-point leaders over the Eastern Football League. 15 minutes gone in this second quarter. Michael Crooks.
Thanks, Sean. I think Anthony, the EFL, looking far better the last 5 minutes or so. They've had all the attack, but just can't put it on the scoreboard.
Well, it's actually a mirror image of the VAFA in the first quarter. They're finding those options and not going down the corridor, but going out to the wide open spaces of the flanks and pockets.
So Tim Fleming gets the ball away to his fellow midget, on that occasion in Simpson. And Simpson goes up towards the half-forward line. In front, working hard was not Sinclair. He couldn't take the football. And the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. It was Josh Dickerson, the big man from Old Brighton, who presented very well at half-forward. As Sean Kelly said, the VAFA have it at the moment by 10 points. 34 plays 24. Midway through the second quarter on a beautiful day at Jubilee Park in Ringwood. And the EFL will take the football away on this occasion. That was Williams, who kicked across his body up towards Robinson. Doing the roving there was Simpson. He got the handball away to Nick Stone, who coughed it up. Good play by Witkowski. Ball's ended up now with Nick Smith, who's been very good. He'll run or lope to 40, put it on his boot, kick across the face, and only one minor score. And the EFL go on to 3-7-25. 9 points in arrears of the amateurs on 5-4-34.
Nick Smith on that occasion never quite comfortable with actually going for it. You saw him stutter, you saw him think whether I should handball off, and in the end he went for goal, but I don't think he was settled enough to go for it.
No, I think you're right there, Anthony, as the Ammos bring the ball back in.
Groves.
Have it across half-back. Groves got the little chip kick up forward, and it's taken by Blumfield. Kick taken underneath the scoreboard. Nice mark. Amateurs just moving it forward with chip kicks. Luke Wintle from St Bede's Mentone Tigers. Kicks up towards half forward. Nice mark taken. Gardner. Charlie Gardner. Yet to play a game in the Ammos. Yet's representing the VAFA today. Kicks inside forward 50. Kick was a little bit offline. And a nice mark taken by Mark Williams for the EFL. Williams quickly lays off with a handball. Goes up towards half back. He has. He's played very well. Representing the Scoresby Football Club today. A little kick goes forward. EFL working it in chip kicks. Gives us a chance to cross down to the boundary line. Nat Edwards and Joe Watton have got something for us.
Thanks, Shawnee. Just on Anthony's last comment about the EFL not using the set like that, you could actually set a quarter time that the corridor was off limits.
Thank you very much for that, Nat Edwards. Ammos have got the ball now off half-back with that man, Yetzi, who's got a truckload of possession so far in the game today. That one wasn't one he'll put on the highlights reel, though. Tried to find ball, but just overshot the mark. Ball's done well, though, to butter up. Now at the bottom of the pack. Got slung around in the tackle that time. Chance for the EFL. They get the ball off half-back and kick it forward. Numbers everywhere. They could raffle it. Now inside forward 50. Kicks on its way. O'Brien. Looks like it's pretty good, but it's off to the right once again. EFL can't buy a goal in this second quarter. They've kicked a 1 goal, 7 for the quarter. That moves them to 3 goals, 8-26. Is the VAFA 5-4-34. It was actually Ryan Mullet that had that flying shot at goal. Kicking style looked a lot like O'Brien's, but Mullet just couldn't find the chocolates, Anthony.
One of the biggest things I've noticed this quarter for the Eastern Football League is they're actually taking a bit of time with their decision making. They're not going for the first option and having a bit of a look around, which has proved a big difference in their game plan this quarter.
Can't put it on the board, Anthony, at the moment as Yetzi gets the ball out to Ben Phibbs, Premiership player for St Bede's Mentone Tigers last year. Ex-Frankston player in the VFL, and he drives the ball long right up to the forward line and out of the forward pocket. Joe Watton, boundary line. The VAFA are using a lot more interchange than the EFL.
The stage guys that the amateurs really, especially after the 10-minute mark, really running them through the bench.
Thank you very much, Joe, at ground level. EFL bring the ball out. Mullet gives a little give to Seamus Billings. Kick wasn't fantastic, makes his teammates work, but O'Brien's up to the task. Picks the ball up at half-back and delivers to an almost vacant half-forward line. Kristen Height runs onto the ball, delivers up forward where he hits a pinpoint pass, which Matt Gregg marks about 35 metres out from goal. Anthony, you've gasped, and you've gasped, I believe, in awe of the good play by the EFL.
Well, that's what we're after from the Eastern Football League in this second quarter. The VAFA did that beautifully in the first quarter. And as I said to Michael before, this quarter is just a mirror image of the Ammos first term, where they're kicking the players on the lead, and we heard from Nat Edwards, get out of the corridor and go wide, which you wouldn't think on such a big ground like Jubilee Park.
So Matty Gregg hasn't kicked a goal yet today. We've put the Moz on him a couple of times. We've done it again as he's pushed that a long way right. And the mark taken in the last line by Hayden Heater for the Ammos, who passes to Yetzi, who again can launch the amateurs out of defence.
So Brendan Yetzi, very, very prominent today. He only mistakes his marks. Basically has that much of the ball. He's got to make some mistakes, and the mark's been taken by Williams for the EFL. Williams goes into the centre of the ground where he finds Joel Smith between half-forward flank and the centre wing. Slowing up play here, Joel Smith. Very slow, long, convoluted build-up. Kicks the ball right up towards the centre half-forward position. Going up was Robinson for the EFL. He does his own roving now. Tries to take the football, can't do so. Bottom of the pack there was Brett Voss. He got the quick handball away to Simpson. Back to Fleming, over the top to Simpson. Now they're running, and they're running well. This time it's Gardner. He's taken one bounce. He's taken a second bounce. He's gone to half forward. He needs support. He's got it from Brett Sinclair on the right foot. Sinclair kicks up towards centre half forward. Great defence on the EFL. On this occasion, it could be Seamus Billings who could be able to clear. He tries to. It came to O'Brien, and the EFL do clear.
Good kick around the corner that time by Davies, but it's to no one in particular. Carlson picks up for the Ammos, fires the ball inside forward 50. Man on his own was Rees, who centres it up and finds another man on his own, which is the captain of the Collegians Footy Club in Chris Plumfield, who's going to have a shot from right on the 50-metre arc, Anthony.
Yeah, one of the biggest differences I'm noticing is the VAFA defenders are playing in front, whereas the EFL defenders are playing from behind, and it is costing them on a few occasions. So Blumfield launches from right on the 50-metre arc, but his kick just skewed off to the left a little bit, and the Amateurs through 4-1 behind, takes them to 5-5-35. EFL are 3 goals, 8-26. It's a 9-point lead to the VAFA. Michael Crooks.
Thanks, Sean. Ball, and Seamus Billings gets the ball away to Anderson, been very good in this term. Anderson kicks the ball in short. Mark taken on this occasion by Carroll. Carroll kicks the ball up to the half-forward line. Mitch Robinson gets the football with the blonde hair, kicks up to the leading forward in Froud, and Froud takes the mark 45 metres out. And surely, gentlemen, the Eastern Football League have got to kick a goal sooner or later. They've had so many attacks.
Well, they need to, and there was a lot of talk about Matt Robinson coming into this team. They reckon he trained the house down on the track, and they reckon there was no way that he was going to miss out. He was the right medalist last year in winning the Division 2 comp B&F, and I think he's showing some of his skills today.
Absolutely, been really prominent in the second part of this second term as Ash Froud from 45 metres out. This is a better kick. We're back to within a goal. The EFL go on to 4-8-32. They're 3 points in arrears of the VAFA. 5-5-35. Nearly 23 minutes gone on the Bushfire Appeal scoreboard.
Yeah, better work by the Eastern Football League, looking at their options, and we've seen it on numerous occasions. Ash Froud just taking the diving mark out in the wide open spaces, reminiscent of Matt Robbins during the first term, and replicating the VAFA's first quarter.
As soon as that ball came off the boot, Froud, he put the finger in the air. He knew exactly where that one was going. Ball thrown up in the middle of the ground. Davies versus Heater. Heater got the tap down for the Ammos. Comes out, though, to Moyle on the wing for the EFL, who finds Robinson at half forward. Matty Robinson, as Anthony just mentioned, right medalist in Division 2 last year, kicks to a former Chandler medalist in Craig Anderson, who goes forward and finds his target, and it'll be Kristen Height who's taken the mark, and he'll kick this one from about 45 metres out to possibly give the EFL the lead.
Too far out to score.
Kristen Height, second year with the Eastern Football League this year, really made a mark in his first year with the Blackburn Football Club last year. Crosses the 50-metre arc now. Right foot kicks on its way. Accuracy looks okay, but just clangs into the post about 3/4 of the way up.
It's only 3/4 of the way up.
Through 4-1 behind. So it is the EFL 4-9-33. It is the VAFA 5-5-35. We've played 24 minutes in this second quarter in the shadows of the halftime siren on the Bushfire Appeal scoreboard.
So Andrew Bowen about to have his 7th kick in for the quarter. The EFL been very inaccurate. 2 goals, 7 this term. They really should be in front, you'd think. And Bowen, this time he kicks to the commentary side of the ground. Nick Stone just throws his opponent out of the way. The umpire said, you can't do that, and that's not Matowski, it's Moyle. Moyle gets the handball away to Anderson, been very, very good. He's got a share back to Moyle, and Moyle now on the left foot, a wobbly floater and a bad turnover, and the mark's been taken by Nick Rees. Nick Rees elects to go very, very wide, out to the outer side where he finds Ben Phibbs. Phibbs goes up looking for Charlie Gardner in front of the scoreboard, keeps the ball in play. Good balance, Charlie Gardner looking good. Should have a good season. Got it back to Phibbs. Phibbs goes up to the half-forward line. Huge fly at the back of the pack on that occasion by Williams. Couldn't take the football. Ball came to ground. Doing the roving now. Dowd on the left foot. He drives up forward. Better build up from the Victorian Amateur Football Association. Great delivery, Ben Dowd, and the mark has been taken by Matthew Robbins.
Well, that's what they were doing all in that first quarter, and we saw it once again just then.
So Matthew Robbins should sink this one. He's 20 metres out. No angle to speak of. Comes in. Hits truly.
Dropped it.
And the Victorian Amateur Football Association go on to 6-5-41. They're 8 points in advance of the EFL. 4-9-33. And we've played 25 and a half minutes.
Let's head boundary side and find out what's going on just before half-time in this match.
Sorry, boys. Matty Gregg has just come off the EFL, and Nick Smith's back.
Thank you very much to Nat and Joe, boundary side today. bring us up to date with everything going on the sidelines. Sean Kelly.
Doing a fantastic job as usual, our boundary riders today. This game's got a little bit in it this quarter. It's got very, very interesting as the ball's returned to the centre of the ground. Hayden Heater very well stalked the umpire then as he got the thrower, as he threw the ball up against Tumanello. Kick inside forward 50, juggled that time by Williams, really should have taken the chest mark. Instead now he's got to work for it hard at ground level. Almost got mugged by a couple of amateurs players then. Falls out to Fleming, tried to give a little handball to Dowd, trying to go off the ground as well. That time was Mullet for the EFL. Works the ball towards the boundary. Good result in the end, I reckon, for the EFL because the amateurs were all over that. And it'll be a boundary throw in near the 9 sign. Scoreboard side of Jubilee Park on the halfback flank for the Eastern Football League. Low throw in that time, favoured to Manello. Kick was smothered, goes back to Barden. Just couldn't quite take the ball with him that time, Chris Barden. He's going to get the free kick though, and the advantage has been paid. EFL run through the middle of Jubilee Park. Kick goes up half forward, mark taken by Dean Kelly. Says the siren, he's going to have to launch this from about 60. Going to wait for the bouncing ball, is it? The ball bounces, but it's cut off. Good work by the amateurs that quarter. They lead it at half-time. They are 6 goals for 5-41. The Eastern Football League are 4 goals, 9-33. Goal kickers for the game so far for the amateurs. Matty Robbins has 3 goals in singles to Lowcock, Sinclair and Coltrera. For the Eastern Football League, just the 3 goal kickers, 2 to Ash Froud, singles to Kristen Height and Nick Smith.
Well, gents, we're all set for a start in the second half of this All-Star Challenge match for bushfire relief. And the umpire brings the ball back into play. Gavin Casey, take us away.
Tumanello versus Heater. Tumanello wins the tap down, but it's yet to clear the centre circle. The Eastern Footy League might run onto it, and it's wheeling back. They will go to half back before going to half forward. Harry will try to stretch it half forward to grab it, but it's gone over his head and over the line as you hear the whistle. It's a half forward flank, 65 metres around from the east goal, and they look to attack early in this third term. So how do you read the game so far, Michael?
I thought early on the VAFA had much more of the football, but really in the second quarter the EFL should be in front, just wasted too many opportunities.
Tumanello won the tap, Anderson couldn't pick it up, so it'll be Lowcock, gets tackled as he tries to win possession. Heater on his left boot, puts it up and under into the centre, and a weak mark for the Eastern Footy League. And they'll be quick to dash it inside 50. Robertson's there, over the top comes Froud. He couldn't mark it at ground level, he'll try to butter up again. Can't get a clear hand pass as a pack now forms at 45 metres close to the line, and we'll have a ball up.
As Gavin Casey said, 45 metres out from the Eastern Football League goal, kicking to the northern end of Jubilee Park in the third term. Came down to Brett Voss, who went to Groves, kicked across his body, only as far as Joel Smith, and the ball in midfield that kicks the ball right up towards the full forward line. Bounces over the spearhead, Matthew Greig's head, doing the roving at the bottom of the pack and kicking wildly across his body, and 1- score is Williams, I think. It was 1- score. The first of the quarter, the EFL going to 14-34. They're 7 points behind the VAFA, 6-5-41 on the Bushfire Appeals scoreboard.
Bowen's got it in his hand. He'll look all the field. It's a zone defence set up by the Eastern Football League. Hands up in the air. They're covering the space nicely. Bowen a little bit confused. Gets the hurry up by the umpire and does find an option. Good composure. So it's on the outer side at half back where the amateurs will load up. Its kick has been sharked by Mullet. Mullet gets a hand pass forward, but it's not picked up there by Eastern Froud, and it's out of bounds half forward line. And they'll try to go again, the Eastern Footy League. They've had many inside 50s in that second term, just only 2 goals, which was matched by the amateur team. Ball in 55 metres out. Heater front position does win the tap, but it will go the way of Eastern Footy League. They enter inside 50. Mark will be taken by Nick Smith. Had a good 5 metres on Groves, just as the ball's pulled back, and Groves was probably running towards goal, hoping that it was going to go longer, and he was caught out there, and Nick Smith takes it in front of the eyes, and 40 metres out, he'll have a shot directly in front.
He's had a good presence this afternoon, Nick Smith, across half forward. Don't you think, Anthony?
Yeah, they have, and they've worked him well because they've rested him on occasions, and that was the reason behind the 8 on the bench, just so players could work into the game. They won't put too much stress on all the players participating.
It's not a beautiful kick, and it's gone to the left as he sort of just lobbed it to the left side for a minor score. Another one for the Eastern Footy League. They are now 4 goals, 10-34, trailing the amateurs 6-5-41.
And the ball was brought in there by Bowen, who went to Hazel, and Hazel goes into the centre of the ground. Mark Taylor, centre-half back position, end up now back with Andrew Bowen as they switch play. Now Bowen, risky sort of kick, went to Fragicomo, and on the right foot, Fragicomo kicked the ball up there towards the centre wing position. Good mark, Nick Stone. The Collegians middle fielder, kick over to Brendan Yetzi. Yetzi up looking for Gardner. Beautiful disposal on that occasion. And Charlie Gardner takes the mark 45 metres out. And I don't think he's going to lay it off. Straight away he turned around, looked at the goals. And this could make the EFL pay on the scoreboard. They're a goal down. They've kicked 4 goals, 11, 2-9 since quarter time. Gardner runs around to try and help him get the distance, but it wobbles off. Right towards the right-hand side of the post. There's a mark being paid. It has. Big mark down there. Might be Sinclair at the bottom of the pack. No, it's not
Or
Sinclair.
Wintle.
Could be Luke Wintle. No, it's the man who's been on the bench all day. Matthew Hanley, the old Zaverians full forward, has taken the mark.
So we went through all the tall blondes.
So Matthew Hanley, wearing the distinctive red boots. Looks like he might be doing a banana kick. He did, but he bananaed it straight across the face of goal and straight out of bounds on the full.
He's kicked it like he slipped on a skin.
Awkward kicking style, Matt Hanley, but usually does kick goals. Not on that occasion. The margin, 1 goal, VAFA leading.
Williams will bring it inside and he finds his teammate there, Mikowski. And it will be cleared out of defence nicely on the outer side for the East as Mullet now at off half back. Will load up, go to half forward, still close to the line underneath it. Nick Smith out the back is Robertson. He goes to the ground with a tackle. It's still close to the line, but it is in. And so a chance inside 50. Harry fumbles it. And the umpire will call for a free kick that goes back to where it started from. And it'll be a free kick to the Eastern Footy League. So another chance to go inside 50. Option here is Dean Cully short, unmanned, and he'll get it on the chest, 45 metres out. Not much of an angle. And he's normally a pretty good kick, the former Port Melbourne player who went to Noble Park last year and kicked some goals in his first game, and he's had a really good season.
So you back him in, Gavin?
Well, I do like his action, but we haven't seen goals kicked today, have we? So we can't be really confident of anyone putting it through so far. But Kelly, 50 metres out, he's just stuttering as he pulls the right boot through the kick. It's a long one. Just inside the right post. It's a good one. And the Eastern Footy League go to 5 goals, 11-41, and they'll tie it up with the VAFA at 6-5-41.
Just at ground level, Joe and Nat, if you can hear us, what's the wind like? Because their kicking has been fairly ordinary.
It's sort of gusting around, not really giving an advantage to either side at this stage. Just depends what is happening when they're having their kick.
So definitely no end favoured at the moment.
No, if anything, slightly to the EFL.
Hayden Hedder got the ball away and got it only as far as Nick Rees for the Amateurs. Now charging through the Amateurs. They've got the football. And in the turnover, it came down to Ben Dowd, being very good. Dowd went up to Robbins. Robbins tried to break a tackle. He was dispossessed, should have been holding the ball, but they've still ended up with Nick Rees. He kicks across his body right up towards the full forward line. Handley hanging on, and the free kick will go back there to the defender. Rakowski. Thanks, Anthony. So Rakowski will take the resultant free kick deep in the back pocket for the EFL. It's all tied up in a thriller in this bushfire appeal match. 5-11-41 to 6-5-41. Tamanello up, trying to take the mark, can't do so. He'll do his own roving and clear.
And he hand passed to teammate in Bazaglo, the captain of the EFL. Anderson now has to paddle it in front of himself, can't get clear possession now, robbed it by Groves. Groves is getting tackled, does hand pass forward. Robertson's in there, nice little hand pass, and they'll clear the East. And they'll go into the centre circle. Nick Smith drops it and then gets pushed by Nick Stone. So it was an unnecessary intervention there by Nick Stone, and it's cost his side as Nick Smith from the centre will load up. Might hand pass to a running teammate. No, goes even wider to the outer wing. And they're going to run and dash. Left foot kick, enters 50. On the bounce, can Greg get it? It's in the pocket and it's just bounced into the cricket nets here at Ringwood, Jubilee Park. So it's 30 metres around from the EFL's goals. And Anthony, what's this quarter looking like for you?
Well, again, wasted opportunities for the Eastern Football League, and unfortunately the VAFA look very dangerous once they head forward, but the EFL not looking, making the most of their opportunities.
Header did well, he got it to Lowcock, and Lowcock went out for the boundary line. He can't find it. Robinson can't take the ball, went back to Andrew Ace Lowcock, and on this occasion he wasn't an ace because he kicked it out of bounds on the full. Half-forward flank now for the Eastern Football League, and they'll take the ball through Chris Barden. Barden unloads now right up towards 40 metres out. Greg in front, Bowen at the back, worked hard, punched away by the amateurs, came down towards Dowd. He tried to punch the ball away, did his own roving, did well, got it back to Yetzi. Yetzi's now looking to lay off, and the amateurs, they've got control of the corridor. One of them's Nick Rees. He's got support from Ben Dowd, doesn't use him. Goes forward, up towards the full forward line. Robbins in front, can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Hanley, not his forte. Ball end up now with the EFL, and they'll clear on this occasion through O'Brien.
And O'Brien goes straight down the line. Nick Smith couldn't take the mark. Well spoiled at ground level. Hazel couldn't do any mopping up, so the East might come away with it. And out the back they go. Chance here to go to half forward. Will it get to the man there on the bounce? It will. And it's Mullet. Mullet turns. Hand passes back to Bazaglo. Now he loads up high, up and under, hoping for Greg. He won't get there. Heater couldn't take the mark. It's now at ground level where the amateurs have got the names there, and one of them was Lowcock. Now Reese. He's got a good pass on him. Has to be good. Stretch there made by Sinclair. Now wrapped up by a tackle by Joel Smith. Dispossessed. Anderson hands it over to his teammate, McCarthy. McCarthy on his left boot. Who's he got? Couldn't find Carroll, but there's plenty of them. Joel Smith has the time to trot with one bounce, directs traffic, looks up, 50 metres out, man on the lead, he'll get him, just won't be marked. Great spoil in the end over the top from the amateurs, and they've got time now to clear, but they've found no one. Carroll back at half forward, take the mark, uncontested, wheels onto his right boot, goes to where the kick came from, hasn't really spotted anyone up. Nick Smith has to bullock, taps it down, where it's all amateurs.
And that's Simpson for St Kevin's and the amateurs. He takes the ball, gets it away to Hazel, dangerously in the middle of the ground. Now the runners are on. Oh, he's fallen over. Tim Fleming, the skipper, turned it over badly. Ended up there with McCarthy. McCarthy got the ball back there towards Joel Smith, who went up to the half-forward line. Mullet trying to run on the ball. Ryan Mullet. Now he keeps it in. He's 60 metres out. No, the umpire said he didn't keep it in. And we'll have a resultant ball in 65 metres around from the EFL goal in this bushfire appeal match. It's all tied up at 41 apiece in this third term. We've gone 10.5 minutes.
Big match-up of this quarter is Nick Stone on Nick Smith, and I think Nick Stone's slowly getting the advantage in that contest.
Robertson's been good, wins a clearance, hands it off to a teammate, and it's a great mark inside 50 by Froud. Froud overhead mark, 40 metres out, directly in front, and we've just seen he is a goal kicker. He lit it up in a semi-final against Noble Park in one quarter at Bayswater Oval, Anthony.
Yeah, 8 goals in that finals match, and was kicking them from 66 metres out and just barrelling them right through the middle.
This should be a soda.
It should be.
He doesn't have the wind behind his back this time, but it is straight. The gun barrel straight, and it's another goal, and the East have finally turned momentum into goals, and now they lead by 6 points, 6 goals, 11-47, leading the VAFA, the VAFA, a 6-5-41.
Well, that's the first time that the Eastern Football League's hit the lead since the 32nd mark of the first quarter. It's been all amateurs, but over the last quarter and a half, the EFL slowly gained a bit of momentum, but now it's actually showing on the scoreboard.
Since quarter time, we've had 4-9 to 2-1, so it's 13 scoring shots to 3, and I think we said from about the halfway mark in the second quarter, the EFL in general play are just getting more of the football. Amateurs have probably been using it a bit better, and they've got to use it better on this occasion. They don't. Falling over in the middle was Lowcock. This cricket pitch is very slippery. Ends up with Anderson. He went towards O'Brien, but the amateurs are going to end up with the football. Charlie Gardner. Handball across to Brett Voss. Brett Voss now, big, long, loping handball. Goes back to Magnetic, and the St Beach Mentone player went to Hayden Hedder. Hayden Hedder kicked across his body, but kicked poorly. Oh, I didn't really know Bazaglo. I think into the sun. He couldn't see the football, but he took the mark. Marcus Bazaglo. Each Ringwood champion goes in towards the centre of the ground, centre half back position, found Ryan Mullet. Mullet went out very wide, looking for O'Brien, right in front of the scoreboard. That scoreboard has the EFL up by a goal. He gets the ball over the top to Wachowski. Wachowski right up to centre half forward. Big pack of players. Matt Gregg does the roving, gets the handball to not O'Brien.
Bain.
That was to Bain. Bain went goalward, and Bain kicked the goal of the day. And all of a sudden the EFL are out to a 2-goal lead. 7-11-53. The VAFA stationary on 6-5-41.
Well, it was just the run of play out of the middle. They continued with their runners. And Matty Gregg, well, he loves a goal, but he's also willing to handball off, and he did on that occasion. Bain just finishing off, and a bit of momentum going the way of the EFL, and they're actually getting the majors on the board rather than behinds.
Well, Greg kicks over 100 goals, but every time you speak to him, he says he gives off a few. And he did that time. Has a good left foot, so he could have wheeled onto it. He chose not to. The amateurs will get the clearance, and out Groves gets it inside or just outside 50. Dowd's got a lot of work to do. Bazaglo there gets tackled to ground, and it's the amateurs who are inside 50. Flying shot from the left pocket. Will it just sneak in? It's a great goal. And that was from the left flank, and it just sneaked into the left goal post, and another goal bridges the gap back to 6 points for the Eastern Footy League, and that was Phibbs kicking that, and he's a St. Bede's Mentone player, and the amateurs just closing it back to 6, keeping in touching distance at the 14-minute mark. They trail by 6. Eastern Footy League 7-11 at 53. The VAFA are 7-5-47.
Well, the previous VAFA goal had been at the 25-minute mark of the second term, so they break the goal drought and finally get a major on the board in this third term.
They really needed that one in the context of this game, didn't they? You just saw the EFL blowing them up if they couldn't do that. Header wins the tap out as he has most of the day, gets it to Groves. He's tackled high, and Paul Groves, another St. Bede's Mentone player, reigning premiers, takes the ball, drives it up towards the half-forward line. VAFA have the numbers. One of those numbers is Jared Carlson. Carlson goes back in towards the middle, and where he finds Brett Voss, who takes the mark 50 metres out. Might be too far for him. Brett Voss unloads right up to the top of the goal square. Up they go, and the mark's been taken by the VAFA, for the VAFA. And I think it might be Matthew Robbins in the centre of the pack who's taken the mark. Point blank range, and this will bring it back to an even ball game.
If you recognise a vertical leap straight up, he is great at that, Robbins.
It's going to be pretty handy for Ormond in B section this year. Matthew Robbins comes in, slots it over the goal umpire's hat, and he's the leading goal kicker on the ground. He has 4 goals too. The amateurs on to 8-5-53, all tied up with the EFL. 7-11-53. We couldn't have asked for any more, Anthony, halfway through the third term.
Well, it took us 5 minutes to get the first goal of this third quarter, and we had a bit of a drought for 7 minutes, but we've had 4 goals in 4 minutes, and this is what we expected from this game. I think they're finally warming up and going goal for goal now.
But this is the first 2 goals in a row, actually, that have been from centre clearances. So the amateurs, they're very dangerous, and that's why you probably don't want to let them get that momentum out of a clearance, because they're able to get it moving very, very quickly. So the East will try to counteract that in this centre clearance. Heater went too early and he's been penalised. And Finlayson probably gives away about 15 centimetres to Heater. Gets the free kick as Heater jumped into him. Hands it off. Now Eastern Footy League, Nick Smith again. What a grip! That was Vice-like as he took the mark just inside 50. And most other people would have gone over the top, but he just stood tall.
He's got good hands.
Yeah, beautiful. And is he looking for a pass short? He doesn't have any options, so he might have to trust his own kick, or at least put it to a hot spot. As he's wondering what he's going to do, he's just going to go as long as he can, and it's going very long. Is it accurate? It's near the goal post, and the goal umpire says it's a goal. Beautiful work, Nick Smith. With all the confusion of what he might do, he just went bang. Well, so the Eastern Footy League, just to score there, Anthony, they lead by 6 points, 59 leading 53 over the amateurs.
Well, we saw it from him in the last quarter. He was just tentative when he went for his run-up. He was exactly the same again. And an interesting stat, he's just become the 3rd multiple goal scorer on the park. And it's been the day of the small forwards, with Matty Robbins kicking 4 goals from Ormond, and Vermont's Ash Froud kicking 3 goals, and now Nick Smith from Baldwin kicking his 2nd.
Centre takeaway. This time the amateurs win it again and kick it through Blumfield up to the half-forward line. Sinclair in front. Dowd being good. Got the handball to McGettigan. Underarm kick up towards the full forward line. And across his body was Charlie Gardner. But he's pushed it to the left and only 1 minor score.
Would that be a rush behind free kick against in the AFL? That sort of...
I think that one may be.
I'm still
That's
confused
what they're going to
by
play
them.
in the amateurs this year.
Yeah, so just wondering... We saw early in the second term that the amateur player had plenty of time to go, do I get penalised for handing it in?
I wasn't definitely going to be in this year, though, in the amateurs.
So the kick is on half-back for the East, and it's in the hands of Bain off half-back as they chain of possession goes well to O'Brien. Hands it over to a running Goddard. Goddard does pick it up on the left boot, inside 50. Can he hit up a teammate just underneath? And the mark wasn't taken there by the leaping crowd. And some close checking there by his opponent. Como was right there. So good work. It's at half forward for the East in striking distance, 40 metres out. Nick Smith does the ruck. Anderson's out the back. Didn't know where to go for it. Does now, but goes to the ground. Hand pass now is a turnover and over the top. Hazel's been swamped and a free kick into his back, and he'll take the kick on half back.
So Tim Hazel started very well. Sometimes we think players have gone out of the game, but with 8 on the bench, they're on and off the ground all the time. And a big mark there by Sinclair, who's one of those, case in point. He missed the second quarter. Gets the ball back to Matthew Ball, who didn't play in the first quarter. Kicks the ball up now, looking for Jared Carlson. Takes the mark. Half forward flank, Jared Carlson. Kicks up towards the full forward line for the leading Robbins. He traps it beautifully. Kicks the ball back in. Umpire said, no, you didn't. It was out of bounds. And we'll get a result and throw in 55 metres around from the southern end goal here at Jubilee Park with a VAFA 8-6-54. Trail the Eastern Footy League 8-11-59. 19 minutes gone, third term, Gavin Casey.
And it is in goal-scoring distance for the amateurs. They will win it out, and running beautifully is Blumfield in the pocket. He's hit the post, the right goal post from the right pocket, and he did open it up late, but he couldn't get the goal that was much needed. The amateurs now trail by 5 points. 59 plays 54 with the Eastern Footy League on home turf here at Jubilee Park, leading by 5.
The Eastern Football League bringing the ball back in with a big long kick around the outer side of the ground. Up there looking for Height, who gets the ball away, and Height drives now right up towards Nick Smith, who's getting away now from Nick Stone in the last 5 minutes. Nick Smith kicked the last goal, kicks up towards Froud, run down by Fred Giacomo in the back, was it? No, play on. Froud tries to get the handball away. Umpire said took too long, and Lowcock now gets the ball away. He goes to Phibbs on the overlap, back to Nick Stone, back in the centre now to Andrew Lowcock. He kicks the ball long, right up to the half forward line. Front of the pack, Butler can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground, kicked away by Mullet.
Mullet will kick it back to the amateurs, and mark taken by Phibbs, who falls to the ground over his back. Good mark taken there as he was sort of unknowingly thinking there might be a player ready to collide with him, but not to be. Phibbs takes the mark, and up and under. Voss is underneath it, and he's the only one who really went for it at the right time, right spot, and he runs on to his right boot inside 50, but he drags it off to the right for a minor score. Now the VAFA missing golden opportunities. VAFA 8-8-56 trailed the Eastern Footy League 8-11-59, but we have a true contest on our hands.
We really should have made them pay them, Gavin. I would have thought. He didn't. And as you said, the margin's still 3 points as the ball's come out to Goddard. Now the Eastern Football League bringing up the line. Chris Barden in the front of the pack. There's a free kick paid, and it'll go against the big man in Butler.
I can tell you, Barden was on the bench before, and he was having a bit of a rub down on his lower back as well, so that bump wouldn't have helped him.
Not from such a big beast as Butler there on the centre wing.
My back's a bit sore now.
Yeah.
So Chris Barden kicks the ball up the line, right up towards the half-forward line. Froud been fantastic, takes another mark. Geez, good marking forward, Anthony.
Oh, definitely, and always playing second fiddle to Matty Gregg, but boy, when he turns it on, he can really shine a light in their forward line.
Been sensational today, kicked 3 goals. Now he kicks it very, very high. The amateurs fly against each other. Bad football, fortuitous in the end. Well, I've handballed it through for 1 minor scorer. We'll put that down as a rushed.
That was Coltrera.
And he's at the wrong end of the ground. He's never seen that end of the ground, Andy Coltrera. 8-12-60 the EFL. The VAFA 8-8-56.
Well, what's he going to do? He's in the back pocket. He's got a short on, and he will short pass it to Ball. And Ball hasn't been on much, has he, Michael?
It's only the second quarter. Yeah.
So he's starting to get into the game now after 1 quarter under his belt. Inboard he goes. Will the amateurs be able to find something? Chain of hand passes. Now it's in the hands of Giacomo. And luckily I'm getting that one out at the moment, as the East might just be able to wrap it up on the wing. And it was a missed opportunity to run it all the way for the VAFA, as they're just really stuttering at the moment, just with the coordination up the field.
I think the heat might come into play here. I mean, it's 26 degrees out there, and it's their first main hit out.
Finlayson was beaten to the tap by Wintle. And the East Footy League have got the players with the ball at hand. Billings, he gets wrapped up, he ran into it, so it's holding the ball against the Eastern Footy League. And will it be another extra distance? No, the umpire's pointing out who gets the kick, and it's Wintle. Wintle now, it's centre forward for the VAFA team, gets it to his teammate and ball on the bounce, finds a teammate again as they try to get a short on. Voss couldn't take the mark, was hotly contested, and the East will run it out. So who they got on the wing? It's Mullet on the wing, takes it, but it's been punched over the line, and it's a free kick because it was arms taken away. So they paid the free kick there, the umpire, and another short on as the Eastern Footy League will look to run and gun. And now Barden puts it onto his right boot. Who's home? Greg runs onto it on the bounce. He collects it. He gets wrapped up. Can he hand it off? He can. Into the Kemperman, runs onto it, wheels it onto right. It's going to bounce. Back. Will it go in? Where is it going? It looked like it got the distance, just short of the right goalpost. Bounce backwards, then forwards to the left side. So that was a humongous bouncing ball.
Dead set stiff Stuart Kevin on that occasion. I think 99 out of 100, Gavin, that would just go through.
Well, how does it bounce backwards and then 10 metres the other way? It was fantastic. Shane Ward would be proud of that on an Indian pitch, as the Eastern Footy League do lead by 5 points, 61 over the amateurs, 5 points. Couple of changes on the bench for the East. Bazaglo coming back on, and so is Rock Harry.
So Bowen goes to the commentator's nightmare on the outer side of the ground as they've gone all day, and Chris Blumfield does very well and gives a raking 30-metre handball. This time McGettigan drives the ball long right up towards the full forward line. Butler led out there, very good in defence, the EFL in the last 10 minutes. Back towards Tamanello, quick handball. Goes and the free kick will be paid, and now advantage will be paid to Joel Smith. Joel Smith goes up looking for Chris Barden. Half forward flank for the EFL. Barden, short little chip kick right up to the hot spot. Ash Proud. I'm very impressed, Anthony.
Well, he just puts the arms up in the air and lets his butt do the rest of it. Puts the butt out and the defenders can't get near him.
He's the X factor in the Eastern Footy League, and that's why Vermont are hard to beat.
Absolutely.
Well, two players that have really come into the game this quarter have been Chris Barden and Ash Proud, and they've been the major difference with the form reversal of the EFL.
Bream rising to the top, good defensive work by the EFL, and Ash Proud will kick from 45 metres out. We're probably on the 50-metre arc by the time he has to kick it over the man on the mark. He's kicked 3 goals, 2 this afternoon. Important kick in the context of the match, and the goal umpire hardly moves. Black football, Eastern Football League, Ash Proud in particular. They go on to 9-13-67. Proud has 4. Matching Matthew Robbins at the other end. The VAFA are 8-8-56. 25 minutes gone in the third term here at Jubilee Park.
Well, that lead now going out to 11 points in favour of the EFL, and they're slowly but surely getting the lead on the board. But we saw it last time, Gavin, that last time they got out to 12 points, 2 quick centre clearances to the VAFA, and it was all tied up again.
Tumanello does win the tap, but it will go the way of the amateurs. Bazaglo might have to run backwards into the wall. Will the East clear? And they will. And it is off half-back, dashing as they look to half-forward. It's a long kick. Harry's at the back. Chubb does push his opponent out. It's now in dispute. Wheeling around his ball. Gets a hand pass to Yetzi. Yetzi forward to Carlson. Might have to pick it up, then get tackled. He knew that, so he went to ground. What will the umpire decide at the end of the day? He's going to penalise him. Carlson has been penalised for holding the ball. He knew contact was going to come, and he did nothing about getting rid of the ball. So Eastern Footy League have it on the centre wing as Hyde finally wrestles Carlson out of the way. Gives it back to
Carroll, I think.
Yeah,
Carroll.
Yeah, that's Carroll. Carroll for East Burwood. As he's looking ahead, looking for some options, just plonks at 60 metres out. Greg has to go for a leap. It's a good one, but he went for the punch at the end because he wasn't getting there in time. Height's there, gets it to BOG candidate Barden. Barden's been wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpire will come in and ball it up 65 metres out from the East goal. And no one's going up for the ruck. For Tumanello comes late, sort of makes a contest out of it, and Dowd picks it up, gets it to a teammate. Now it's Phibbs. Phibbs onto the wing. Carlson has room to look ahead. Goes to the forward line. Gardner's underneath it. Can't take the mark, and the spoiling defence of the Eastern Footy League sees the boundary. Now it's 60 metres away from the amateurs' goal.
Also like the move of Marcus Carroll from East Burwood into defence during this term.
Done a good job.
He's followed Paul Groves down into the forward line and done really well off half-back.
So McGettigan takes the ball away quickly to Nick Rees, but his kicks off the side of the boot. It'll probably go out of bounds. But finally does 25 metres around from the VAFA goal. 27 minutes, 20 gone in this term, and the first 2 quarters have only gone about this long. So it must be close to 3-quarter time.
What are we down for goal tally this quarter?
Probably got a couple more, 2-5. So 7 goals kicked in the quarter. The EFL have 5 of those. They hold an 11-point lead. Brendan Itzey been fantastic right on the bounce on the siren. Falls into Robbins' hands, but too little too late. And at three-quarter time, the EFL 9-13-67 lead the VAFA 8-8-56 for the EFL. Ash Froud has 4, Nick Smith 2, singles to Dean Kelly, Jamie Bain and Kristen Haight. Whilst for the VAFA, Matthew Robbins has 4, and single goal kickers Ben Phibbs, Andrew Coltrera, Brett Sinclair and Andrew Locock.
Thank you very much to Nat and Joe on the sidelines as gents take us away in the final term of this EFL versus VAFA game.
And it's still in the middle, but it will be the amateurs who'll get first knock at it. Fleming falls over his feet, has to hand it back into the centre circle, but that's trouble. Anderson hands it back into a trouble though. Reese picks it off for the amateurs. Dowd, he's on the skates as well. He nearly falls over his feet, kicks it half forward, but he gets taken over the shoulder, so it'll go down the field, and McGinnigan will pick it up. And from inside the boundary, he trots inside, opens it up a bit. Does look for a pass, will just put it into a hot spot. It's a bending back to the square and will now bounce off the pack and out of bounds near the goal post. And a throw in 20 metres around from the VAFA's goals, and they trail by 11 points, so they'll be looking for first score on the board in this fourth term.
Well, we talk about the defence. The big punch away came from Mark Williams again, who's having a great second half.
It's still in there. Bazaglo runs straight back into the pack after the clearance was taken by himself, and he gets claimed. The umpire does not penalise him, said he had no prior opportunity. So it's 20 metres out in a central position for the VAFA team. Winning his own tap there was Sinclair, but his kick goes nowhere. And it's in fact in the hands of now Bazaglo. After a hand pass got his way, a few hand passes, will Anderson be able to make anything for half back? Anderson gets it back from his teammate in Mullet. Now kicks it up to half forward. Nick Smith had to contest it from behind, taps it down, headers there, falls over as he gets pushed over by Haight. Haight might collect it near the boundary line at half forward for the Eastern Footy League. It's still there to be contested, and it's close to the line. The umpire will come in and claim the ball.
Gents, we talk about that it's only early days of the pre-season and we're still quite a few weeks away, but I just watched Craig Anderson run down this wing, and I don't reckon you'd want to take him on in a 100-metre sprint, because he was careering past Mark Williams from the Eastern Football League then, and some of the players, they're just on 12 months of the year.
That Anderson's just got the ball again. He's been magnificent. He got it to Ryan Mullet. Mullet now goes out wide looking for Dean Kelly. The Noble Park player, Dean Kelly, kicks the ball right up now. Out there looking for Barden, and Barden right up towards the full forward line. Greg in front of Bowen on this occasion. But the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. 11 points the margin. And as you said, Anthony, I mean, these guys are the best that Melbourne suburban football has to get, these two competitions. And this is the best of the best. And we've seen a great game here this afternoon, no matter who's going to win.
Greg might not be as quick as they think he is, because he's always getting it on the bounce on these leads. So he can't claim the mark on the lead that time, and it'll be cleared by the amateurs. Nice kick goes to Sinclair on the outer wing in front of the scoreboard, which says the amateurs trail by 11. So they want to get on their bike. From the back, Voss goes to spoil. He's first at ground level to knock it onto a teammate, and it's opened up for the amateurs. Inside 50, they go. Robbins on the lead, bounces just in front of him. Does get a hand on his opponent, Wukowski. Wukowski will just paddle it, and we're happy to see the line. A great result for the Eastern Footy League, as Robbins was just couldn't claim it there. Another inside 50 for the VAFA, and it's now 55 metres out from their goal, as they do hope to get this first score in the last term. Trailing by 11. Tap one down by Tumanello. Eastern Footy League, Bazaglo claims a hand pass from a teammate and just hand passes up the line, hoping for a bit of touch. It won't go there. Fleming now does a good pass in board to Reese. At centre forward, 55 out. Gets onto his right, puts a pass in. Robbins on the lead. Straight up he jumps. He dropped it. That's a surprise, and the VAFA might have to scout, and they'll get a holding the man decision going their way. At ground level, it was Simpson who took to the ground because he didn't claim the ball, so that was a bit fortuitous, and the fumble turned into a free kick.
He played for it, he milked it, and he got it. Now he's got to kick it.
So let's see, what do we reckon of his chances here, Michael?
I have not seen him play before, Gavin.
Oof, sorry to put you on the spot then. What about a guess?
Well,
We do, at the Eastern Footy League, we like to guess.
Been pretty good. He's
I think he'll
kicked 4
kick it.
goals.
No, he won't. He'll handball. Oh, no.
So now it's a huge turnover, still in the hands of the VAFA, but it will finally be turned over because of weight of numbers. Very surprised numbers, and that's why it's been spilled again by the East, and it's still in the back pocket. And will sanity prevail with a clearing kick by Williams? It will be turned over. So load up by Sinclair, smothered off the boot. It is really sloppy footy. Williams now gets a clearing kick, hoping for the line because it's all blue jumpers thereabouts, and can't beat it to the line. Or yes, he will.
Still not over.
It's still not over, and there's Hazel's around there. Hand passed out the back. It's on the wing for the Amateurs, but they look a bit lost. Heater picks it up. Gets it now to full forward. Will Robbins claim this? He's got a great leap. Straight up he goes. He can't claim it. Off hands. It's close to the line. That's a deliberate action if I've ever seen one. And the umpire sees it as well. And the defender, you've got to know your surrounds and what the umpire sees as well, because that was so obvious. Kick in board. All on his own is Carlson. Can't take the mark. Coming late in was Voss. So it was Gardner, and it's been turned over anyway. So the Eastern Footy League now at centre half forward. Hands there by Kelly. Kelly dodges, shadows, goes onto his left boot, goes to full forward, bounce again to the leading Greg. Now he's got time to go on his left. Joe's on his right, not his preferred, hands it out the back. Flying shot by Froud from 55, goes all the way to the line. Nick Smith on the line, couldn't take a mark over the top. Guys, it's still in. This ball will not go out as the Amateurs will do the clearing, and it now comes out to Carlson at half-back.
So Jared Carlson for the Amateurs. They mucked up a golden opportunity a couple of minutes ago. Might be important in the context of the match. He got it back to Dowd, who went to Blumfield. Collegians captain turns it over badly. Josh Smith steals the ball. Joel Smith steals the ball, gets it to Chris Barton. The longer the game's gone, the better he's got. Kicks up looking for Greg. Bowen's got to keep his feet. Greg is first up. Bowen now tries to do the tackling. Greg playing for the free kick, not getting it. Dean Kelly in support. Needs another helper, can't find one.
Because he put the ball down in tackle, he's been penalised.
Didn't dispossess of it properly, and now we'll get a free kick in the back line to Etsy, and Etsy will go to Bowen.
Bowen from half back, spotting up an opponent, or not really. Tuminello will be the man who run back on the outer wing. Will hand pass over to Joel Smith. Joel Smith, one bounce, does like a gallop, hands it now in board. Barton on the bounce, bit surprised to get it, can't claim it. And now Hazel, short pass to Sinclair. Sinclair stops, probably a wise decision. This game's going too fast for the players to think about what they're doing. Voss at half forward gets spoiled against. Now at half back, the East will be able to clear it, or will they? At Froud just underneath it. It's still at half back for the Eastern Footy League as they muck around with Anderson. Will get tackled before he can dispose of it, and it's holding the ball against Anderson. Will advantage be played? And it's in the hands of the Amateurs as a flying shot now will be turned into a pass. It's beautiful. Gardner takes the mark 10 metres out, and he just turned the goal shot into a pass, and we go down to boundary level. Nat Edwards at ground level.
I've just watched that from Greg before, and he came to second best in that last contest, so just keep an eye on him. He's the only property.
Gardner, unusual because he comes in board with a right step and kicks it around the corner. He wasn't on much of an angle, but he made a good thing of it. Gardner gets on the board for his first goal in the fourth term, and we have a ball game. Eastern Footy League in the Bushfire Appeal game lead 9 goals, 13-67. The Amateurs 9-8-62.
Well, I can tell you that Charlie Gardner really needed to make up for that one, because you talked about the turnover in their forward 50 before, and Carlson had his name written all over it, but Charlie Gardner intercepted.
Take him out, didn't he?
He did, and the EFL were able to turn it over. The EFL missed their opportunities down the other end, so a chance for redemption for Charlie Gardner, and he's done it.
And he was able to do so. It's been a quarter of missed opportunities. Header gets it to Rees. The Amateurs push forward right up towards the half-forward line. Dropping what he could have taken then was McCarthy. Now the Eastern Footy League have got the ball through. Joel Smith been much better the last quarter. Gets it over to Barton. He's been good all day. Barton spearing kick up there, looking for Froud. At the back of the pack, Fradja Giacomo gets the handball to Nick Stone. Nick Stone onto Hayden Header. He's a roving ruckman. He gets plenty of the football. Hayden Header in towards the middle. Just misses his target in fibs. Was he tackled high? Umpire said no. Play on. Comes out the back now to Bazaglo. And the EFL cares through Smith.
Smith gets it at centre half forward, and Cully takes a mark. Does want to play on immediately. He's got players out wide, but it may not be the best option because Ball nearly took the mark, but it comes to the ground. It's been taken off him. Carlson intervenes though for the Amateurs, thankfully for them. Hands it over to Simpson. Simpson now's to give it back to Carlson. Yetsy's involved, hands it off, and now they're off and running through Dowd. Dowd out wide has got his on-ball partner in Rees. Rees going to centre half forward, up and under, hoping for a mark. Robbins is doing some wrestling and leaves it for Voss to come in to take the mark. And that was good play there by the amateurs. Voss has got another short on and will be marked closer in, 35 metres out. Another mark taken for the amateurs. And just wait till he gets up there.
Blumfield, I think.
Correct.
And it is Blumfield from 35 metres out. Will have a kick from directly in front. He plays for the Collegians.
Captain.
And he should put this through, and it'll be a change of leadership on the scoreboard if he does. From 35 metres out, it's a beauty. It's straight through the middle, and in the bushfire peel game, the amateurs now lead again. 10-8, 68, lead by a point over the Eastern Footy League at 9-13, 67. So we've played 10 minutes into this fourth term.
That we have, and well, the seesawing game that we have on our hands, and just better work of the ball out of the midfield. We saw Nick Rees, how he has so much space on this broadcast side wing. It amazes me that no one's going with him, and he was just able to set up the play. They're kicking to long leading targets, and it's proving the better at the moment.
Hayden Hedder got the ball out. It's what we wanted to point the difference with that. 15 minutes to go. Barton gets the ball down now, wrapped up in a tackle for the EFL on that occasion was Bain, that came back there now to Kemperman. Kemperman kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line. Back of the pack, Nick Stone does well, gets it over to Ben Phibbs, takes one bounce on the outer side, takes a second bounce, probably could go for a third, but elects to go long, right up to the half-forward line. In front, Charlie Gardner kicked the goal earlier in this quarter, holds his feet well, gets the ball back in now, the EFL right up to the forward line. Brett Voss at the back with Williams, he's got two in support, the EFL should be able to clear. With AFL rules, that would have definitely been a free kick, but it's a 1- score and it doubles the lead. The VAFA go on to 10-9-69. They're 2 points in front of the Eastern Football League, 9-13-67. Couldn't got a better bushfire appeal game here this afternoon.
Well, looking into the crystal ball, if this game does finish in a draw, that will not be how it finishes. It will be golden goal, I believe.
Golden goal.
Which means next score wins after the final
it could
siren.
be golden point.
Yes,
so
golden
point.
point.
You had me confused then.
No, not at all.
We could go for ages had they been kicking today.
There'd be no final sirens go. Oh, the final siren would go, and then they just keep playing on.
Okay, I hope they know that because they'll probably stop and huddle for a while. So now
Wouldn't surprise me.
It's in the hands of Yetsy in the centre square. He's looking behind for a hand pass. He hasn't been always the best with by foot, so he'll look to hit up at target, just puts it half forward. Carlson's in good position, over the top, he takes a good mark. It's not been paid. Surprisingly, he said there was hands by the East on it. I didn't see it, and it will be cleared by the Eastern Footy League. They go to the outer wing. Inside it's Kemperman, gets a hand pass going, and sprinting is Williams. Williams might have to hand pass over the top. It's still tight, and it's been claimed by Bowen. Bowen rides a bump, hounds it to Dowd. Dowd now gets it in the centre square. It'll be slowed up a little bit in the hands of Blumfield. The man on the mark goes off him, so he's able to change directions. Yetsy hands it over to a teammate, and they're going to run now, the amateurs. Plenty of time through Phibbs. Phibbs runs the half forward after two bounces. Won't take another bounce. He'll load up, go all the way. Robbins might be fortuitous and mark it. He come in from the pocket. It's all amateurs in the goal scorer anyway, and it's a goal. That looks like it's a Whittle there, Michael.
Yeah, he's Luke Whittle, I think. Yep.
Whittle had the easiest goal of the day as it landed from Robbins' drop mark in his hands, and from 2 metres out, Whittle gets another goal in the amateur.
Brett Voss.
So it's Brett Voss. Brett Voss gets his first goal on the board in the fourth term, and now the amateurs lead by, just waiting for the scoreboard to update. The 8 points. Eastern Footy League at 9-13-67, and the amateurs 11-9-75.
Well, a lot of that came from a lot of the defenders of the EFL going up along this broadcast side wing, being part of the play, and then didn't have the opportunity to get back and cover their forwards.
St Bede's Mentone captain Luke Whittle now into the ruck, and it came out to Simpson, who went down. The amateurs have just got the run on at the moment. The EFL need a goal and need one quickly. They might be able to effect a turnover through Chris Anderson. He gets the handball away on this occasion to Carroll. Carroll kicks the ball out wide, looking for Joel Smith in front of Blumfield. Blumfield does well, looks for the boundary line and finds it. 8 points the difference, 13, nearly 14 minutes gone in this bushfire appeal match this afternoon.
What's the turnaround, Anthony? How do we explain this turnaround? Out of the middle, is it?
Definitely out of the middle, and for the Eastern Football League, Matt Gregg is off the field now, so a restructured forward line for the EFL as well.
might just have a few fresher legs. We noticed that they didn't play players in big blocks there in the first and second quarters there, the Amateurs.
So Fleming going in the middle is a big inclusion to that mix.
Because he's a hard ball getter, he gets the ball all the time. Luke Wintle gets the takeaway, but only as far on this occasion as Kemperman coming into the game in the last quarter. Yetsy's been in the game all day. Yetsy, and he gets the football again, and he offloads beautifully back to Bowen. He kicks underground, but he finds Wintle. He gets back to Yetsy. He's had a truckload of the ball. I know he's turned it over, Gavin, but he's been good.
Yeah, he has. There's no doubt about that. As the Amateurs load up again to go to half forward, and a good mark taken there by Groves. Groves goes short, out wide. It's in the hands of Carlson. Carlson from half forward, acute angle, loads it up, goes to the left side for a minor score, and the Amateurs extend the lead out to 9 points. But they have a heap of momentum halfway through this last term. 76 plays 67 of the Eastern Footy League, so we've had a big quarter by the Amateurs, Anthony.
Yeah, it's the midfield players, Jared Carlson, also some of the smaller players in the midfield that are proving the difference as we head down to Joe on the boundary line.
Yeah, boys, this quarter's been played around between the half-forward lines, but the Amateurs have gone inside 50 11 times to EFL's 4 in this term.
She's got the run on at the moment, thanks Joe, as Paul Groves will get a resultant free kick for an out in the full, and he's 55 metres out. Kicking to the northern end with a helicopter kick right up to the top of the square, dropping back but not able to take the mark was Brett Voss. And it's been rushed through for one minor score. 11-11, 77 the VAFA, 9-13, 67 the EFL. We've gone 15, nearly 16 minutes in the final term, and what's been a special day here at Jubilee Park.
Well, it's the run out of defence that the Eastern Football League's lost during this term, and as Joe mentioned, they've had plenty of pressure, and under pressure again, Gavin.
Yeah, the kick out was for the mullet, but coming in the way, Voss. And Voss, isn't he a big body? And his AFL experience is really coming to the fore, just how big he can be as an impact player. So Voss from 35 metres out got in the way of mullet, took the mark from straight in front. He'll hope to extend this lead. It has been 21-0 this quarter in favour of the Amateurs. As the kick goes to the right, and that's the second time in this game that Voss has missed a clear-cut chance, and it's only a 10-point lead for the Amateurs. Eastern Footy League on their three-quarter time score of 9-13, and the Amateurs 11-12 at 78.
Quick kick away now by Wachowski, who went to Kemperman. As we said, building up the stats in the last quarter, Kemperman goes out very wide. Mark taken out there for the EFL, and they've got one on the inside. It's Hughes. Hughes takes the mark, gets the handball to Joel Smith. Joel Smith from 50 metres kicks up, looking for
Froud.
and finding Froud, who takes the mark. Been probably, I'd say, the best forward on the ground, definitely. Yeah. And takes it to the mark, and will kick from 35 to 40 metres out in a 45-degree angle. Will he kick it, Anthony?
I think he will. The EFL needs it. Haven't scored in this final term to date, whereas the VAFA have had 3-4 in this final term.
Ash Froud kicks and kicks it truly. And we've got a big ball game here. And Anthony, this could be your draw that you predicted, because there's only 5 points the difference at the moment. 10-13, 73 the EFL, 11-12, 78 the VAFA, Gavin.
5 goals by Froud, and it's a 5-point game. So.
Well, our listeners at home were probably wondering, Matt Gregg off the field, who's going to step up, and it's the small forwards, as it has been all day in this game for the VAFA and also the Eastern Football League. Ash Froud will be that target. They'll use a decoy as well to go out the other side or straight up the middle, but Froud will be who they head to every time.
Whistle infringement for going into the circle. The arms go both ways, and finally the Amateurs pick the ball up for Wintle. And he will take the kick as he goes straight down the line, hoping for high flyer. Voss is the high flyer, but he's third in line and he's third hands on it. So it's at ground level for the Amateurs. Will they claim a kick? It flies out, and I didn't see who it was, but we'll look at the jumping joy of the player running back to the circle. A flying shot out of the pack. And that was, Michael, pick it up for us, because that was out of the blue.
And of course,
literally.
it's not going to turn around Ben Phibbs, are you? But
Ben Phibbs, that was literally out of the blue, out of the blue. There was a pack of players, he just got on the boot, and it flew straight as he wanted it. Phibbs gets his second goal, and the lead's back out to 11 for the VAFA at the 19-minute mark.
Yeah, probably, definitely the most crucial goal of the day, with 5 points the difference. And after we've seen a few sitters missed by both sides this afternoon, degree of difficulty was about 10, and he kicked it. ruck contest. Finlayson tried to take the ball away for the EFL, tried to do his own roving, and in the end they did push it forward. Over the head this time of Ash Froud as the ball comes back and taken away now the Amateurs. They drive the ball up to the the centre wing line, and the mark's been taken there by Dickerson. The old Brighton veteran Josh Dickerson hasn't spent that much time on the ground this afternoon, but takes the mark and now kicks the ball right up towards centre half forward. Good defence by the EFL. Comes down to Anderson on the overlap to Mullet. Mullet drives the ball right up towards half forward, and a very good mark's been taken and played on and kicks a goal. Peter O'Brien. Good football, good finishing. Game on again. 11-13, 79 the EFL. 12-12, 84 the VAFA. 20 minutes gone, final turn.
Well, that's what they needed, and they made sure, and it was their defensive effort. They went the punch down, had the smaller players at ground level that got the football, and then they looked at their options. Mullet looked up the ground, didn't look for the lead, but looked for someone running back towards forward 50. That guy was O'Brien, and O'Brien decided to go it alone.
Tap one down by Hito, and forward of that circle is Reese. So good play, the Amateurs, and a pass has been hit up inside 50, and Dowd does get it. And he's cramping up. He's finding it hard to step up from taking that mark. And he might have a sore leg. So this kick will be interesting. 50 metres out for Dowd. And every time the Eastern Footy League have pegged back in the last 5 minutes, the Amateurs have had a good answer. Dowd from 50 metres out. Michael, prediction?
No.
And Dowd from 50 metres out, he pulls it to the left, and we might see a draw in this bushfire appeal game because it's now the Amateurs leading by 6 points. Can the Eastern Footy League, at the 21-minute mark, get the next goal?
Kick in by Wachowski, right out towards the outer side of the ground. Slowing play down there, a goal behind. Ended up there with McCarthy. Now the Amateurs gang tackling very well. I think they'll get a ball up out of this, which is probably as good as they could expect. Anthony, we spoke about bragging rights before the game, and one team would have it, one association would have it over the other. But I think it proves that they're both fairly similar standard, doesn't it, today?
Oh,
it's been line ball all day.
Most definitely, and no teams really. I think the biggest margin got out to a 14-point lead in favour of the Amateurs in the first quarter. 20?
20, they kicked the first goal of the second term.
20-point lead, so the EFL were able to get back, but it's been close and tough, and boy, I think we're set for a thriller of an ending.
Now, big kick in for the Victorian Amateur Football Association. Groves goes up as high as you can without taking the mark, and now we'll get a resultant ball up, and it's only 20 metres out from the Amateurs' goal. 22 minutes gone in the final term, which suggests probably 5-6 minutes to go, Gavin.
Yeah, because what have you been seeing at about 28 minutes?
27 and a half minutes nearly every quarter. We've played 22 minutes. There haven't been that many goals kicked in the last term. Hayden Hedder does the roving himself. It came down towards Rock Harry, been a bit quiet. The ball came out and punched away very well defensively by Blumfield. The sanctuary of the boundary line in front of the cricket nets. The margin's one even goal. The VAFA have it 12-13 to 11-13. Probably 4.5 minutes to go. Here's Gavin Casey.
And it's at the wrong end for the Eastern Footy League as they trail by 6 points. The local spectators, and there is a lot of amateur supporters here, but the local spectators are hoping the East can clear it out of defensive 50. The kick wasn't a good one. It'll go back inside 50. Groves is underneath it, but the defender there punches out in Bazaglo to the cricket nets, and we'll go down to the boundary line. Nat Edwards will cost you right now. Important change there. Matt Gregg might just get a mark and convert. Yet to get a goal is Matt Gregg, and it's still inside 50 for the Amateurs. Off the hands, they'll try to claim a kick, and it might be important behind. Scored here for the Blues as the VAFA gets Phibbs gets he just likes to rush those kicks, and they normally go straight. It's a 7-point lead for the Amateurs. 12-14-86, leading Eastern Footy League 11-13-79. 23.5 minutes gone in his final term of the bushfire appeal game.
Wachowski elects to go very, very wide. I know Daniel Harford's bay in the corridor, but they have actually got a run on here now, and it comes out to Hughes. Hughes on the outer side, right up towards half forward, can't find a target. Ball comes to ground, bottom of the pack. Froud, height, tried to get the ball down. Ended up there with Hazel. He got the ball, free kick, and a free kick to the East. Go to the Eastern Footy League. 30 metres out.
I was sure that tackle was by Nick Smith, and he's got the free kick for a high tackle.
Yes, and
No,
it was the tackler.
It was a fend-off sort of situation.
Okay, the fend-off. Now, Nick Smith has kicked 2 goals, 2. Crucial kick, 7 points the margin. 24 minutes gone, final term. Woeful kick off the boot, but 1 minus score. Gavin's happy with that. Now we've got the draw on. He set it up beautifully, kick the point and then get the goal.
How poetic would it be that these two comps are trying to test themselves against each other and it ends in a draw?
After 20 years of talking about which one's better and then no one is.
Carlson's got it off half back, but it's importantly in the hands of the amateurs, and they might like that as they try to keep it in hand. Going to half forward mark, now it's been turned over to Goddard, who was in back position as the pass was overshot. Barden being great on the wing, has to hurry a kick because the interchange was made when he didn't know right behind him. The amateurs now get rushed onto the ball. Another change, Tuminello over the top. These interchanges are perfect for turnovers. Now Goddard hands it to Hughes. Hughes inside 50. Here he comes, Froud. Pushed, and he's being paid a free kick over the shoulder.
Now, I tell you, gentlemen, the forward line from the first quarter is now the defence of the VAFA, because Andrew Lowcock is manning up Ash Froud, and Peter McGettigan is also in defence. So all hands on deck in the defence in the final quarter.
Let's set it up. The Eastern Footy League trail by 6 points. 50 metres out in the hands of Froud from Vermont, the champ. He's been in 3 premierships, knows how to convert a big-time goal. 50 metres out from the right flank. He puts it up straight. It's looking good. It's got the distance. It's all tied up. We are tied up. 2 of the premier competitions in Victoria. The Eastern Footy League at 12-14-86. The VAFA 12-14-86. Siren will go soon. 26 minutes gone in this last term.
Anthony, take me through it. Does the siren go, or the timekeepers don't blow it until there's a score, if it happens to be level?
Well, I think they need to know that there's
golden point.
That is going into the golden point, but I think will probably be making an announcement very shortly, but I reckon it'd be quite fitting if he finished in a draw.
Yeah, let's go on that.
Just let the
Hayden gets the ball out there to his captain in Fleming. Fleming offloads, and now they go down towards the half-forward line. Great defence for the EFL. Wrapped up in a tackle, McCarthy. Got the ball back to Carroll. He was dispossessed there, looking for the boundary line. Blumfield's looking to keep it in for the amateurs. He does so. Now Wachowski, been pretty good down back, and runs it out. 26 and 3/4 minutes gone. It's all tied up. 12-14, 86 apiece. The EFL and the VAFA. Great game of football here at Jubilee Park. Ball 60 metres out from the amateur goal. Kicking to the northern end. Came back there to Moyle. He goes for the boundary line. Trying to keep it in was Rees. Can't do so. Yes, he can. Gets a quick handball back. Still too far out to score. Ball goes very, very wide. Must nearly be out on the full. It is. And the resultant free kick will go to the Eastern Footy League at the 27.5 minute mark.
We might actually ask our boundary riders either to head over to the caravan and just get clarification on what will happen at the end of full time. So
Reese has got it at half forward for the amateurs, so they can win it in their own right, I reckon, here, because they'll have the next kick inside 50. No, it'll be a short pass on the bounce. It won't get to Phibbs. Phibbs is a bit of a magic man on the right boot. And Robbins got it! Robbins has taken the overhead mark as he rode on top of the Eastern Footy League backman. And Robbins, who will be kicking for goal only 35 metres out, playing for Ormond, ex-Bulldog, got a great leap, great mark, should kick it. He is really an accurate kick.
Any score you think might win here?
Well, I'd back him for a goal and go back to the middle and maybe...
What's the time, Gav?
We're at 28 minutes. Robbins from 35 metres out. That's straight as it's expected to be. Robbins has kicked his 5 goals. The amateurs lead by 6, but we are closer to the Eastern Footy League goal now because it's back in the middle.
Well, it's all counting down. Nat Edwards has headed over to the huddle, and I think Matt Lee's actually telling her what's going on, which is very unusual. No, Matty Robbins, he's been the live wire in the forward line today for the VAFA. He's kicked 2 in the first and then goals in every quarter, and has been the standout forward for the Amos today.
5 goals, 6 to 3 goals, 1 in the final term. Sees the VAFA out to a 6-point lead, and they go forward again up towards the half-forward line. Great defence by the EFL. Now comes out, and the ball is going to end up there with Bazaglo. Bazaglo Right foot kick right up to half forward, and there's a siren, which marks the end of a very special match here at Jubilee Park for the bushfire appeal. And the final scores, the VAFA 13-14-92 have run out one single goal winners over the Eastern Football League 12-14-86. Goal kickers for their victors, Matthew Robbins has 5, Ben Phibbs 2, singles to Charlie Gardner, Brett Voss, Andy Coltrera, Andrew Lowcock and Brett Sinclair and Chris Blumfield. Whilst for the EFL, Ash Froud absolutely sensational with 6, Nick Smith 2, singles Christian Height, Dean Kelly, Jamie Bain and Peter O'Brien.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, keep our fingers crossed that the microphone will work. I would like to call on the EFL Chairman, Graham Helbish, to make the presentation to the Best On Ground medal. A very tight finish in the game, lots of good players, but the Best On Ground medal has gone to the VAFA player, number 3, Ben Dowd.
Worthy winner of the Best On Ground medal today. I thought fantastic job in the midfield and then a bit up forward in that final turn, pushing the ball forward.
Super first time.
Ben Dowd just getting his medal.
And now Graham Helbish will present the Bushfire Appeal Challenge Cup to the VAFA President, Nick Burke.
Well, it won't be the best moment for Graham Helbish currently handing over the trophy, which we've had in our possession during the week once it was struck. But I think Nick might...
I might just get Nick to say a few words and to thank the players and umpires and trainers and everyone.
I might just get the captain to come over and hold this while I'm speaking, if that's all right, Tim.
So tune in to Channel 9 News tonight.
Rob,
Tim Fleming might get a bit of a mention as well.
Here today has been a fantastic exhibition of football, and to that I think the 52 players are to be congratulated. The draw would have been very appropriate. We're delighted to get the win against such terrific players. To Graham, as I said at the lunch, it was the EFL's concept. They came up with the initiative for this, and what a marvellous one it is. We're just delighted, and to come away with the win just is fantastic. But to everyone concerned, what a great cause. They like this, everyone's a winner. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. And the final word from EFL Chairman Graham Helbish.
Thanks, Peter. Congratulations to the VAFA. Very well played, boys. And to our EFL side as well. Wonderful exhibition of footy, as Nick has said. We're very pleased and proud with each of you. As we are to all the volunteers who worked right around the ground today, a big thank you and look forward to buying you a drink in our tent afterwards. And you'll be all most welcome in to the great crowd that turned up today as well. And the umpires panel from both associations, thanks for a terrific job. It's been a wonderful day for community football, and we also hope that the message has gone through to all of the people impacted by the bushfires. So just how our thoughts have been with them today, and how we've put on the best possible show. And we wish everyone well for the rest of our respective footy seasons. Thanks again.
And finally, a big thank you to the training staff who did such a great job today, and the water people as well. On behalf of both leagues and associations, to all the people outside the ground over there, thank you very much for your support this afternoon. And it's been just a wonderful day for football, and all the money going to the best possible cause. Thank you all.